Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Death Ray here on this lovely Friday the 13th. Not just any Friday the 13th, guys. Today is Jason's actual birthday. How awesome is that? And while this may be the only Friday the 13th this year, we get 3 next year. So we'll be able to celebrate a whole heck of a lot when that time comes around. Oh my gosh, got a little frog in my throat. I'm getting so emotional about Friday the 13th. I wish I were getting emotional in a bit more of an excited manner. Unfortunately, guys, you know, we've heard about these announcements that are supposed to be coming out, and I know it's just 1 o'clock Pacific time, so 4 p.m. Eastern. Maybe there's going to be more news coming out from our official sources later today. I don't know why they would hold out. Maybe they're waiting until 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern. I have no idea why they would do that in today's day and age. You put that stuff out at midnight Eastern or maybe 6 a.m. Eastern, and you get people talking about it all day. So if they don't know the way the world works, I mean, shit, I'm 43 and I understand at least a little bit more about how social media runs and the internet and all that. Get your information out there as soon as possible, so other people can start talking about it and make it even more relevant than you can just by getting it out to the major outlets. But maybe we'll see more. I'm trying to stay positive here. All the news that's been coming out from the Crystal Lake TV show from A24 and Peacock has been very encouraging. Everything from Jason Universe has been an absolute nightmare and a total friggin' wreck. So I'm trying to stay positive here, but this doesn't make me feel any better, guys. I thought I was kind of turned around on all this stuff. Where's the Crystal Lake TV show logo? Where is it? Put out the logo. Brad Caleb Kane was hired last September, I think, or the end of last August in 2024. They relieved Brian Fuller of his duties about a year ago, and here we are, they're sitting on their hands, and we're waiting with bated breath just for something real and tangible, not just casting announcements and Halloween Horror Nights bullshit. But we'll get into all that stuff. I know I sound like I'm totally on one. I'm in a good mood, guys. I am just so bummed out that we don't get anything. Man, just a logo for the show, I would have been happy with that. You don't even need to give me anything more. It would have been cool if they released like a PDF of like a brochure for Camp Crystal Lake, because that's something that was, you know, really popular back in the day. So in the 70s, having that, you know, brochure, like it would have been cool to kind of look through that. Some cheesy, you know, since they're hiring these actors as extras who have that 70s look, just take some candid photos of them doing whatever, roasting marshmallows, camp activities, painting cabins, hanging out with kids. Like, they could have put together something really fun. I feel like the creativity behind the scenes with the Friday the 13th rights holders is next to none. I mean, they're working on the TV show. That's the priority. They need a good story. The show has to be good. Hire someone else that can think about the peripheral kind of stuff and that can run your social media and give fans something that drops early on Friday the 13th when it's Jason Voorhees' fucking birthday. Good God. We'll get into all that though, guys. I swear. I've been like complaining for 5 minutes. I'm going to say what's up to everyone hanging out in the chat. On the flip side of complaining, thank you guys so much for tuning in, spending part of your Friday the 13th with me. It really does mean the world. You know, I go live a lot and I appreciate so much, you know, that we've got a good group of regulars here and that we're seeing new folks come in, people being able to return or finding their way back here for whatever reason. That's awesome. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go so early here on Friday the 13th is holy crap. Everyone's going live tonight. I can't compete with all that, guys. And nor do I want to, because I want to be hopping in those streams and hanging out. My guy, Bill Frickenstein from the Everscathed is going to be on. He's going to be at the camp tonight with Brett Patrick from Pat That Halloween Movie Collector. So they're going to go live for a quick little bit. It'll be Bill's first time going live. Then, of course, Vincent DeSanti of Womp Stomp Films is going to go live with the Ghost Files. I believe Movie Misfits Video is going live. Everyone's going live. So I wanted to go live early just get my whole thing out of the way, be able to relax, enjoy the rest of the holiday. And also, as I'm seeing Twisted Locker and Gina, my chunky Geordie, in the chat, I wanted to do something. I want to do more streams where we can get our folks across the pond involved. I love our the British part of our community, the UK part of our community. I think is really important. But we've got some amazing fans and amazing content creators out there. Twisted Locker is just one great example. Those guys are, God, I love their chemistry. They are so much fun. It makes me wish that I had a co-host all the time, but look at me. I talk so damn much. I probably couldn't keep a co-host around, let's be honest. And then, of course, Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards, Darren of the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast, and I'm sure M from Horror Her. I can't leave her out. There's what is it? I'm forgetting one of the names right now. Forgive me. But anyways, I want to do more where we can get more, I want to have more live streams where we can just kind of spread out our net and catch a wider audience, not whiter audience. All right, I'm going to say what's up to everybody hanging out in the chat. Guys, make sure, first off, again, thank you for jumping in with me. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. If you're watching after the fact, thank you so much. It really helps the streams just have that second life. I really do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. But also leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on some of the news we're going to cover. Yeah, we're going to cover some news before we get into the topic. And then let me know your thoughts on, best or favorite moments, or even just standout moments in the Friday the 13th franchise. We're going to have some fun with this. It's not going to be your standard, like, oh, the liquid nitrogen kill. We all know that's a great moment. Sleeping bag kill. Yes, let's have some fun with it. If you can see the images underneath me, look at how much fun there is there. Oh my God, that face from Jason Takes Manhattan. That is so rough. But we got my girl Terry there. Oh my goodness. Ooh, and we got her over here too. I had to have two Terrys. She's that hot, guys. Crop top shirt and that ass, just like the little bit of the cheek peeking out. It's a great look. Ladies, I don't know if you know this. It's a great look. All right. So I'm going to say what's up to everyone in the chat. Thank you again for kicking it with us, guys. Lamontre Gillard, how you doing, Lamontre? We got Chester Franklin Jr. Happy Friday the 13th to you, my man. Melissa Wildcard, what's happening, Melissa? So good to see you. There you go. We got Brett from Good Real Hunting, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. Hope you're doing well there, Brett. Thank you so much for jumping in. Great to see the boys from Good Real Hunting making their way back after about a 3-week hiatus there. Looking forward to the new rebranding and the new shows and the new format, guys. Really looking forward to that. We got Jordan Decker, one of our great channel members, and a brand new, well, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks new YouTube content creator. Guys, check out Horror on Tap. If one of the mods can share the link for Jordan's channel, I've been really bad about remembering to do that. And then Jordan gives me a lot of shit, which he rightly should be giving me shit because there's no good goddamn reason why I shouldn't be sharing his channel. Jordan's great. Really, really fun. A total laugh riot. Let's see here. Who else do we got? We got Matt Arnett. What's happening, Matt? How are you doing, hot stuffs? We got Logan Reynolds says, I'm not a Friday the 13th fan, but I like this channel. Can I still chill? Absolutely, Logan. Even if there's just like, really, we're just talking about favorite moments. So even if you're not the biggest fan, but maybe there's like a moment or two that kind of stands out to you as something that you enjoy. Or if you just want to chill for the camaraderie and the conversation and the community. The 3 C's over here at the Davey Death Ray channel. There you go. We got Gene Whitacombe in the house. What's happening, Gene? So great to see ya. We got Dean Renner, a Patreon member and a YouTube channel member and a YouTube content creator. Check out Enter the Cinevault. Dean just put out a video today about Jason Lives, asking if it truly is the best sequel in the Friday the 13th franchise. So make sure you check out Dean's channel. And guys, my throat keeps on getting froggy because I'm not taking care of myself and lubricating my throat. Guys, these Slice, quote unquote, healthy sodas, only 4 grams of sugar. They're really good. And I don't know what it is. There's something about the old timey looking can. I feel like it's appropriate for talking Friday the 13th. It's got that 70s, 80s camper kind of feel. You know what I mean? Yeah. Boring. Don't care. Never even heard of those people. We're going to cover that, Brett. There's been no big news, unfortunately. Let's see here. Gina, one of our great channel members. My chunky Jordy. How you doing, Gina? We got JG Michael in the chat. What's happening, JG? Hope you're doing well. Look at that. Jordan's been a member for 7 months. Hell yeah. Jordan says, thanks for joining us last night on the TSL Friday the 13th quiz, Davey. You somehow got more questions right than I did. Yeah, guys, the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast put together a really fun, I think, 5 contestant, maybe 6 contestant Friday the 13th trivia yesterday. And they were sweet enough to ask me to contribute a bonus question. Now, a bonus question video. They gave me the question. I just shot the video. It was super cool to be a part of that. I've been wanting to do a full-on collaboration with those guys for a while, but it was great just to be a part of the amazing trivia. Jordan was one of the contestants over there and had a pretty good time. Yeah. And Joey Jolene, who's a friend of the channel, she was over there as well. So great to see some familiar faces up on the dais, as it were. We got our Twisted Locker boys in saying, what's happening, Davey? I'm away from home on a hotel, ready to meet some horror icons tomorrow at a con. Lamberto Bava, Demons Cast, and the legend Fred Williamson. That is awesome. I'm guessing this is Kurt. Is this Kurt? Oh my God, dude. Demons Cast, that is awesome. We're going to be covering that on Movie Punks sometime in the fall. If you want to join us, then please do. Please do. And yeah, Fred Williamson's friggin' awesome. Love him. I mean, in everything I've seen him in, but From Dusk Till Dawn, really, really dig him there. Let's see who else we've got here in the chat, and then we'll get to the business. No, just starting, man. Heck yeah. What's happening, Antonis, one of our great channel members? How you doing? And I forgot to mention the Twisted Locker boys are also channel members as well. Thank you guys so much. We got Destiny Faulkner in the chat, one of our great Death Squad mods. Hope you're doing well, and happy Friday the 13th to you, Des. Let me know how you're celebrating. Everyone in the chat, let me know, is there a movie you watch every single Friday the 13th? Do you rotate through? Do you go to the one that you've seen the least? How do you approach Friday the 13th? I feel like I'm going to be watching a lot of streams to support, content creators I like, and also to hang out with you guys on other channels. So if I watch a Friday the 13th movie today, if I fit one in, it's probably going to be The New Blood, because I will be appearing on Facci Cinema to talk the good, the bad, and the ugly, or the good, the bad, and the judgment, on Matt's channel on his redo review series of Friday the 13th. So I'm really looking forward to that. The New Blood is sort of a love-hate thing, but it's also a story of a movie that just wasn't able to reach its full potential due to censorship by the MPAA. So I'm really looking forward to having that chat and, being honest and open about my feelings on the film. Horror Fanatic is in the chat saying, hey, Dave, happy Friday the 13th. I'm doing a marathon of the franchise today. Hell yeah, man. Love the Thanksgiving icon you've got there. I'm a massive Thanksgiving fan. I am very much hoping that the new movie doesn't get delayed, that the sequel actually still comes out this year, although I'm starting to get a little nervous for sure. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't know, this might be your first time jumping in on the channel. If it is, welcome. You're kicking it with the Death Squad, and I hope you have a great, great time. It is horror on tap, Des, although I'm guessing down below maybe somebody's already posted it. We got Dynamite Tiger in the chat, one of our great channel members. Says, hey, buddy, been enjoying your movie review shorts. Thank you so much. And yeah, guys, I did see Ballerina yesterday. I owe you a full review of Ballerina. I'll probably be shooting that later on tonight. So I'll probably have it ready to go by, oh gosh, I don't know, probably not until Sunday, but keep an eye out for it. I'm going to continue doing new content, but you'll also notice that some of the episodes that I've done as live streams, I'm cutting out the heart of the conversation. So like the other night on Late Night with the Davey, we went just over 2 hours with Vin and Mark of Tales from the Shelf, and we did a versus battle of the final chapter versus Jason Lives. I clipped out just the battle part of it and posted it as its own video. And I also do that with the news stuff too. So let me know what you guys think of that. I like doing those clips. I try to make it very obvious that it is a clip from a live stream and not that it's posing as new content, but it's a great way to keep things churning and to keep new content on the channel popping up all the time. And in addition to that, I still will be doing, you know, brand new movie reviews, whether it's from a super chat goal that you guys you know, put together that I put out there for you, or if it's just a horror movie that I want to cover, like Dangerous Animals, that I was really pumped to see. So, yeah, thank you so much, Dynamite. Really appreciate you, bud. And we got Todd Bound in the chat. Bound. Chicka Todd. Bound. What's happening, Todd? Hope you're doing well. We got Fachi Cinema. There he is. I'll lubricate your throat. Yes, I bet you would. Matt. Something tells me you could make a career out of that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Des, and thank you for sharing that one, Brett. Really appreciate you guys. And let me make sure I am not missing anybody else. Guys, if you want to, well, let's hold on. I'm going to ask you guys about your favorite moments in the franchise. But let's go ahead and jump into some news before we do that. Just want to say what's up to everyone else. Adrian James, what's happening, Adrian? So great to see you. Sean Laughlin, happy Friday the 13th, Davey and chat. Happy Friday the 13th, right back to you, good sir. Hope you're doing well. We got Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music. What's happening, Corey? Hope you're doing well. We got Gory Tiger. I don't know why. I just like saying your screen name like that, Gory. You know, it's just one of those weird things. Not everyone gets one. So, you know, be happy, and yeah, I'm sure you are. I mean, it feels good to have your name or your screen name said, right? Doesn't it feel good? I always say that using someone's name is like petting them with your voice. You know, everyone likes hearing their name said, don't they? Am I the only one? I don't know. All right, lubricating my throat there with some quote unquote healthy slice. All right, okay, guys. So thank you again for joining us. Holy shit, we have 28 people in here. That is amazing. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like button. And I don't know, if you're feeling saucy and you want to share it on Twitter or whatever social you got to be like, hey guys, this is a dope hangout. You're going to want to come over here and meet Davey Deathray. And I can't thank all the new people enough as well. I think between Hit the Bricks and just picking up the content over here, you know, being able to appear on the Slaughtered Lamb and even getting a shout out from a channel that I'm about to share with you guys here. I've been seeing, you know, May was the most successful month the channel's had in the almost 2 years that I've been doing this. And it looks like June's going to beat it out, guys. So I can't thank you guys enough for just being so awesome, being supportive, sharing the channel, liking the video, showing up for the premieres of the clipped out vids and all that kind of stuff. You guys are friggin' amazing. I could spend 2 hours just thanking you guys all the time. What's happening, Brian Sanchez? Hope you are doing well. I love movies too, Brian. And you know what? I think this is your first time here. Welcome on in. You are kicking it with the Death Squad. Everybody make Brian feel so welcome. It looks like you already are. Yeah, man, we're real big movie nerds here. And you know what the cool thing is about the horror community? I'm sure you know this. We're really nice people. It's not your regular social media internet fare here. We're very, very friendly. Very rarely have I ever seen any sort of contention in the chat. So anyways, yeah, all positive here. And we are celebrating Jason's birthday. So yeah, guys, really quick. Wow, 32 people in here. You guys completely blow me away with how sweet you are. I love it. Okay, the first thing that I want to do is I want to show off, guys, there's this channel that I've been really digging lately. One of our community members, Toronto Freddy, you may know him as Toronto Freddy, he turned me on to this channel called Haddonfield Radio. Now, these guys, I believe they're East Coasters. They do these long form videos. They started with the Halloween franchise. They went through every movie. Then they went to A Nightmare on Elm Street for season 2. They're currently covering Friday the 13th. They just dropped their latest video, which is on, they're just going in order in the franchise. Their latest video that came out just earlier this morning is on Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. And I love what these guys do. They've got great voices. Christian has one of the best voices I've ever heard. He's one of the hosts here. And the great thing about these episodes, they're very long form, like 3 hours. They usually spend an hour and a half, like telling a backstory that's somehow related to the movie, or maybe something from real life that's very similar to what happened in the movie. And then they talk a little bit about the background of the film, and then they actually watch the film and do a commentary. So you get a little bit of both. I love listening to these guys. And also, like, sometimes when I'm having a tough time sleeping, I put on their videos just at a nice little quiet volume, and it helps me fall asleep. So not only do I enjoy their content, but it's kind of good ASMR for me. So I recommend you guys check these folks out at Haddonfield Radio. Brand new episode just dropped. And not only have I completely fallen in love with what they do, I've reached out to them on social media. I'm really hoping that we can put together a collaboration, but I understand they're very busy and that takes a lot of work. The latest episode is 3 hours, 20 minutes, and it's not live. It's pre-recorded. So I'd imagine it takes a lot of research and a lot of work and scheduling just for them to kind of do what they do. But they've been so incredibly sweet. Christian has shouted me out on a couple episodes, including the latest episode. It was a very sweet little moment. I posted it on the channel where he talks about my Instagram and how much he loves my out of theater reactions, and just very sweet. So love seeing that reciprocation. I love what these guys do. They're sitting at 64.2 thousand subscribers. So they certainly don't need me to shill their stuff. I'm shilling it because I genuinely love what they do. And if you're not subscribed, I encourage that you check them out. In fact, I will go ahead and drop their link here in the chat. And there you go. So I'm not going to pin it or anything. Well, maybe I will. I'll pin it because I know that the mods will keep on sharing, Dean's channel and Jordan's channel throughout. So there you go. If you want to check out Haddonfield Radio, you can check them out right there. Just wanted to give them that plug really quick. And then, guys, we can move on over to our news, right? Do you guys want to talk about some news? Talk about some Friday the 13th news? Okay, let's do that. But really quick, before we do that, I got one for you. I meant to put that up there. Haddonfield Radio shout out. Sorry, guys. I forgot to put that up there. But really quick, guys, we are going to cover this news that I'm sort of worried about. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I don't know why, but I'm worried, guys. So this comes to us from Bloody Disgusting. This is a John Squire's article. Robert Eggers directing his own A Christmas Carol for Warner Brothers. Now, you guys know Robert Eggers. He did The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman, and then most recently Nosferatu last December. And it looks like he's putting together a werewolf movie as well. I would imagine that maybe that will be more in line with like the Universal or like the older style werewolf, less like the Lee Winnell Wolf Man that came out early 2025. So yeah, here he is putting together A Christmas Carol for Warner Brothers. The article goes on to say, in addition to his werewolf movie Werewolf, Robert Eggers will also be directing a new take on A Christmas Carol for Warner Brothers. Deadline reports tonight. So this came out just the other day. Eggers will write and direct his own adaptation of the classic Christmas ghost story, with frequent Eggers collaborator Willem Dafoe reportedly being eyed to play Ebenezer Scrooge. Willem Dafoe as Scrooge, that's just smart casting, guys. Deadline notes for clarity, quote, insiders add while negotiations are not underway with any talent, Eggers is writing the role of Ebenezer Scrooge for his longtime collaborator Willem Dafoe as the top choice to play the classic Charles Dickens character. I would imagine Dafoe's going to say yes. He's worked with Eggers on like almost everything else. Chris Columbus and Eleanor Columbus are attached to produce. And then it goes into, written by Charles Dickens, the holiday classic tale. Everyone knows A Christmas Carol. My favorite version of the story is Scrooged, starring Bill Murray, directed by Richard. Why am I forgetting his name right now? Richard Donner. Thank you so much. With music by Danny Elfman. The cast is stacked. John Glover's in there. I friggin' love that movie so much. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, they go on and talk about, the history of A Christmas Carol, how many times it's been adapted. It's a classical, or they say here at the end of the article, A Christmas Carol is classically a period piece ghost story, which makes it perfect fodder for Robert Eggers to put his personal stamp on. As Louise H.C. wrote on her Bloody Disgusting just last year, quote, "Isn't it weird how the single most influential piece of Christmas-related media is technically a horror story? One can even make the argument that Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol paved the way for the rise of Victorian spiritualism during the following decade." So, guys, I'm not worried that the movie won't be good. I know it'll be good because Eggers is a solid director. But if you've hung out on the channel for any amount of time, you know that I want him to just kind of like do his own thing because I love The Witch and I love the the Lighthouse. I don't love the White House. Love the Lighthouse as well. So when I see that he's just diving into, Nosferatu, that was a one-time experience for me. I'm probably never going to watch Nosferatu again. A really well-made film that I'll never watch again. And then doing Werewolf, I just don't know how interested I am in that either. And I'm more interested in A Christmas Carol because I do like the story, but I'm just sort of like, oh my gosh, dude, are you just going to be scooped up by Hollywood and you're just going to do all this like nostalgia bait, kind of remake stuff? Are you ever going to get to tell your own stories again? And that's what worries me about this story. Let me know in the comments. And if you're watching live, let me know in the chat what you're thinking about this. Are you looking forward to this? Do you have any of the similar kind of concerns that I have about Eggers not being able or not choosing to do his own work? Let me know in the comments, guys. Okay, so that takes care of our Friday the 13th news, but I am curious to know what you guys think. And guys, I swear the whole rest of the stream is going to be all about Friday the 13th, so don't worry. Let's see here. Let me jump in and see what you guys are saying. Chester, I see your favorite Friday the 13th moment. I'm starring that. I think he'll do a good job because it's going to look gorgeous. If he's dedicated to it, then it's going to be fantastic, but not as good as Muppets. Yeah, I mean, I still think Scrooge is the best version. And that's the thing, though, is like a movie that looks gorgeous, that's great. How many times are you going to watch it? Like, I'm never going to watch Nosferatu again. Never. I would rather watch the 22 version or the 79 version. I just would never. Yeah, I don't know. Never going to watch it again. What's happening, Brother Fluff? Great to see you, man. Welcome on in. We got Sam from Our Life in Horror in the chat. So great to see you. If one of the mods wants to share the link for Our Life in Horror, that's another fantastic horror channel here on YouTube. Boom! We got Cody Falk in the chat from Wet Paint Pictures saying our official trailer just dropped, my friend, for The Crow Days of Sodom. Check it out, guys. I really like that first trailer. It was great. The little fight scene teaser as well. And I feel like it's been a little bit since we've got something. So check it on out, guys. It looks really damn good. Looks very good. Let's hope my computer isn't taking a shit here. All right. Looks like not many people have much to say about A Christmas Carol. Not a big Eggers fan. His first two films are my favorite for sure. A flat-out horror take on A Christmas Carol could be fun for sure. And I'd be more likely to watch it, And The Exorcist 3, Ebenezer Scrooge did battle with Chucky. That's true. That's true. George C. Scott there. Sean Laughlin says, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be kind of one for them, one for me thing. Yeah, there you go. Hopefully the werewolf movie is different enough. Will I rush out to see it? No. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Brett. Really appreciate it. Could be interesting. Yeah. Would I watch it over Scrooged? Probably not, because I love Scrooge so much. We got Manny's Manic Media in the chat. What's happening, Manny? How you doing? Says Eggers needs to do his own ideas again. Disappointing. Yeah, and it's like, I'm not here to far be it from me to tell this guy what to do with his career. He's younger than me. He's wildly successful, and he's incredibly talented. His movies, they do look amazing. I just love his original stuff so much because it's so uniquely his own and so different. That when I see like, oh no, dude, you're doing like essentially 3 remakes in a row, it looks like, I just get worried that Hollywood, it's you know what it is, guys? It's the punk rock in me. Because as soon as a band, when I was a kid, as soon as a band started to like gain popularity within like our small punk rock scene, like Blink 182 was big in like the underground pop punk scene, and then they signed to MCA and they became something that they never were before. When I listen to Blink now, it is unrecognizable compared to the band that I listened to when I was like in early high school. And then you see that with Green Day. You see it happen with all these bands. Even Rancid to a lesser extent. And so it's like, that's what I see when I look at Eggers and where his career is going. I'm like, fuck, the mainstream is co-opting this guy and turning him into something that's run of the mill and, relatively speaking, boring. You know, just because your movies look good, that's not the only thing that matters. Guys, if movies looking good was the only thing that matters, then no one would have talked shit about Longlegs. Everyone would have said it was the best movie ever. I really love Longlegs because it looks beautiful and I love the story. But if looks were all that matters, people would say that's a top 10 film of all time. So looks and the way the movie looks is not the only thing out there. But anyways, let's move on to some Friday the 13th news, because I'm losing my audience as I'm talking about punk rock. Oh, you know what? It's my channel. We're just going to have some fun here. Don't worry about it, guys. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and move over here. Get rid of these stupid pop-ups before I go forward. Okay. What the heck is going on? There we go. Okay, guys. So is this the big news we were waiting for on Jason's birthday, June 13th, 2025? Crystal Lake TV show adds 3 series regulars, including Cameron Scroggins as the legacy character Dorf, who is the police officer from the first film. Listen, guys, I don't know who any of these actors are. To me, this is not big news at all. This is just like, whatever, run-of-the-mill TV show casting news. I hope they're not holding out for bigger news later, because I think they should let the fans stew in the big news all friggin' day and really enjoy Friday the 13th, and also let the content creators push out the news and, you know, do half of the work for them, essentially. But nope, here they are, just disappointing us again and getting me all worked up in a tizzy, jumping on live and kind of talking shit. So yeah, I have no idea who these people are. Never heard of these actors. I don't know why this is like really newsworthy at all, but we're going to talk about it because it's Friday the 13th and that's part of what I do here. So this one is from Alex DiVincenzo, and the article says Cameron Scroggins of Nashville, Devin Kessler of Godfather of Harlem, and newcomer Gwendolyn Sundstrom have joined Crystal Lake as series regulars. Notably, Scroggins will play Dorf, the police officer portrayed by Ron Milkey in the original Friday the 13th. Kessler will play Brianna Brooks, and Sundstrom will play Grace. They joined the previously announced Linda Cardellini as Mrs. Voorhees and William Catlett as Levon Brooks in the expanded prequel series from A24 and Peacock. All right, and then they're letting us know here directors for the first 8 episodes are set to include Michael Lennox, Celine Held, and Logan George, and Nguyen Tran. In the show, Mrs. Voorhees is a mother who gave up a singing career to raise her special needs child, only to take a dark turn when she loses her son, Jason Voorhees. And showrunner Brad Caleb-Kane referred to Scroggins as, quote, one of the many legacy from the original film to appear in the series. So stay tuned for more updates as the series heads into production. So yeah, this is one of those things where I guess it's news because it's coming out and they're going to camera here. I believe next week is when they go to camera on location. But yeah, this news doesn't really do much for me personally. I mean, it's nice to know. I guess these, it's cool that they're bringing legacy characters back. I don't know if this guy Cameron Scroggins really has the look of Dorf. Is he going to be more of a serious character this time around? Is he going to be totally silly like he is in the original film? I have no idea, but I know that I'm disappointed that this is quote unquote big news. And Yeah, I guess we'll just move on to the next story because I have nothing else to say about this one, guys. So the next story here, we've got Jason Universe teaming up with Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. And they're also teaming up with NECA. So we're going to just cover these back to back here. Yeah. So again, this is like not, I don't care. I hate to be a, negative Nancy about this stuff. This stuff just doesn't do anything for me. To me, this is like hardly news, but this is what I should expect from the Jason universe. Coming to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando and Hollywood with original haunt. I'm not a haunted house guy. I don't really care for that kind of stuff. I'd rather just watch movies, but I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority. Let me know in the comments. The article says Halloween Horror Nights kicks off Friday the 13th with the big news, quote unquote big, that Jason is returning to this event this Halloween season with an official Jason Universe attraction. The all-original haunted house takes guests back to the summer camp where the gruesome legend was born. The reckoning begins on Friday, August 29th at Universal Orlando Resort and Thursday, September 4th at Universal Studios Hollywood. Watch the trailer below. And I'm going to let you guys watch the trailer because anytime I show trailers on here, it causes problems. The article continues to say, for 45 years, Jason Voorhees has terrified and thrilled audiences globally. With Jason Universe at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, we're celebrating that legacy in an immersive way that honors the character's brutal mythology while giving fans the chance to experience it like never before. It's a visceral homecoming for one of horror's most enduring icons. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this kind of stuff. Des, I know that you and Braden really enjoy the Halloween Horror Nights. I think that haunted houses, ever since I was a kid, they're just not for me. They kind of freak me out a little bit. But also, like I said, I'm more interested in films and the Crystal Lake TV show than I am in this kind of stuff, which, just doesn't really do it for me too much at all. I don't know. It could be cool, I suppose. But let me know if you're hanging out live. Let me know in the chat. And if you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments. And then follow that up, guys, just to piggyback off that 1-2 punch of Jason Universe news with them teaming up with Halloween Horror Nights and NECA. We've got the NECA story here with the Jason Universe joining forces for upcoming collectibles. So more non-movie, quote-unquote, big news. Guys, I'm so worried about the Friday the 13th franchise. I'm just going to take a second. I'm so concerned. I'm less concerned about A24 and what them and Peacock are doing, but this Jason Universe stuff, it scares the shit out of me. So another article from John Squires, and this one says a multi-platform expansion of the Friday the 13th franchise from its original owners, the Jason Universe, officially launched with a brand new Jason Voorhees redesign earlier this year. It was Ghost Jason from Womp Stomp Films. And that new version of Jason, quote unquote new, will soon be getting his own NECA toys. The NECA team has taken to social media today, Friday the 13th, to tease the upcoming collaboration with the Jason Universe, though we have no further details at this time. We can expect to see upcoming toys and collectibles based on the new Jason redesign in the coming months, which was created in partnership with makeup effects legend Greg Nicotero. Unless you're watching H2O, then you know that Greg Nicotero put together that dreadful powder white alien Michael Myers mask. We've got a quote here from Rob Barsamian of Horror Inc. that says, quote, "We strive to maintain Jason's original essence while continuing to move toward the future with a redefined look and feel that takes Jason into his next chapter. We're also working with both familiar and fresh franchise voices to strike that balance. We gave Greg our new 13-hole mask and worked together on this full-body look that embodies classic Jason. He's a strong, towering, and terrifying slasher with a machete, his weapon of choice." Which I think they've already put out that quote. To me, it sounds like a campaign speech or like a politician trying to say a bunch of interesting stuff, but really to me, it's just kind of like a nothing burger. If you want some fresh franchise voices, then reach on out to Vincent DeSanti of Womp Stomp Films, guys. Yeah, who cares about collectibles? But if you care about collectibles, let me know in the chat and let me know in the comments down below. Now I'm more interested like in this one here. 78 comments. Hopefully everything's going well with the audio and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay, looks like we're good. So this is actually, what's funny about this is this person in the next story. I'll wait a second just so I can edit this later after the fact. So I'm actually more interested in this story here. It says artist turns the best Friday the 13th franchise kill into their own action figures. So I think this is cooler than the NECA announcement with the Jason Universe Jason. This is really cool. It's Death by Toys is the name of the company, and these are just sort of like DIY action figures. You know, right there you got the Jason X liquid nitrogen head smash, and then from part 3 you've got what's his face with the eyeball popping out. I know it's terrible. I should know his name, but I just can't think of it right now. The guy that's just trying to get in Chris's pants the entire movie. He has nothing else to do. So this article here comes to us by way of John Squire. Surprise, surprise. Says Dan Polidorus has been making custom horror toys under the Death by Toys banner for the last several years, and he's celebrating 2025's only Friday the 13th this week with his own unique tribute to Friday the 13th franchise. In particular, the saga's best kill scenes. Countless fans over the years have relayed their own personal selections for the best kills in the history of the Friday series, but Dan's presentation is a little bit different. Rather than merely listing them off, Dan created custom action figures based on each of his favorite kills. He explains on the Death by Toys Instagram, I turned each one of my favorite kills from every Friday the 13th movie into a one-of-a-kind action figure toy line. Swipe for pics. This was basically my love letter to the franchise, and I don't think I've obsessed over a toy line quite like I did with this one. I'm looking forward to rejoining society now that these are done. That's hilarious. Love the sense of humor there. Love the dedication and the passion. And I even brought up the Instagram here, guys, so we could take a look. So, you know, if you zoom in, you can get a good look at all these figures here. But what I'll do is I'll scroll through and we can take a look at each one. So we have Kevin Bacon there. We've got Ralph. We've got Duder from part 3, Mr. Horndog. We've got Fat Hitchhiker with Banana. We got Demon with those damn enchiladas sold separately. Love that. We've got Sheriff Garrus being bent back over in part 6. Really good shit. Sleeping Bag kill from New Blood. Oh, Uncle Charles dipped in the toxic sludge from Takes Manhattan. Stab in the back from Jason Goes to Hell. And of course, our favorite, you know, liquid nitrogen kill from Jason X. And even Freddy versus Jason gets an entry with Discount J from the View Askew universe getting cut in half. Oh, and the remake. There we go. Machete right to the head, a la Dawn of the Dead from the Friday the 13th remake. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to share that because it's kind of going into the theme of the people that aren't the rights holders are the ones that are creating more interesting content. And to veer even more into that, we're going to cover the last little topic here. Guys, Womp Stomp is winning the day so far. Vincent DeSanti over there at Womp Stomp, they've already put out their brand new Never Hike Alone final cut trailer, which is awesome. If you guys have not seen it, even if you've seen the films a million times, the trailer looks so damn good and so pro. It gets me pumped to rewatch these movies all over again. In addition to that, they also released a Never Hike Alone, the game official trailer. I had Vin on the channel the other night. He said nothing about a game. I had no idea that this game was coming, but it looks like it's kind of like loosely based on the LJN Nintendo game from way back in the day. So I'm really looking forward to that. Vin is also going live later on today at 8:15 Eastern for Ghost Files. So I'm sure he's going to be sharing more stuff and talking about all the news that's come out. But they also announced, let me go ahead and share this. They've also announced that they've got a figurine, a Ghost Jason figurine coming from Comic Creep Customs. So you can see Ghost Jason there. Another pose right there with the mask off. They've even got the face looking good. And then another shot there as well. So another example of fans that understand the fans more. I know, shocking, right? And Vin said on Twitter today that he's got more shit to share. So keep an eye out. Make sure that you tune into the Ghost Files. I got to tell you guys, because I've been accused of this in comments before. I don't work for Vin. I've never worked on a project with Vin in an official capacity or anything like that. Like, we are buddies. I met him through Cecil Laird of the Horror Show channel. I would love to work on one of these projects in an official capacity. It would be amazing. I would love to truly team up with Womp Stomp Films, but I've seen some comments, especially on the Hit the Bricks podcast, where people have basically said that I shill for Vin because I have like a working relationship with him. I do not. I really love what he does, though. I really love what he does, and so I want to share his shit because I believe in the guy. So that's all that this is coming from. And then I just wanted to let you guys know, 3 days left on the Never Hike Alone Ghosts in the Fog animated Friday the 13th film campaign. They're at 46% of their goal. They just crossed 23,000. They have some really fun stuff over there. Blu-rays. They just added the game. Virtual camper. You can get cabin wall art, coffee mugs, posters, beanies, shirts. They've got, VHS. And it looks like they're all sold out. Oh, nope. Test pressings of the vinyl are there, but they're all sold out of the standard version of the vinyl. I'm really glad I picked one of those up just the other day. Hopefully one of you guys did after the stream on Late Night with the Davey. But yeah, guys, just a great example of how the fans are pushing Jason along better than the actual rights holders. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the live chat. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know in the comments. I love getting that conversation going with you guys, so let's chat it out. Okay, guys, that takes care of our news. Thank you so much for bearing with me through all that. We've been on for almost an hour, and we haven't even really gotten to the task at hand. There I am. Oh, look at Terry's butt. So nice. I'm gonna scroll back up. I know I probably missed a lot of stuff, guys. Hopefully I didn't miss any super chats or anything like that. Brett says haunted houses are fun. Yeah, and I don't mean to disparage anyone that likes them. they're not for me, so I guess I don't consider them like really like big news. You know what I mean? Like, it's cute, but that's kind of it for me, you know. Let's see here. Todd says I'll probably get some shit for this, but here goes. I think The Burning is the best summer camp slasher. Ooh, that's a fun hot take. We should cover that on our next horror hot takes. Todd, you got to show up to that one. And I fucking love haunted houses. It's not a personal attack, Des. I love you. Don't be mad. I know you and Braden really dig those, and you've been checking them out. Again, not to disparage anyone who likes that. I still don't consider it big news, although it is fun news for people who are fans of both. Oh, we got M hanging out. What's happening, M? We were just talking about you a little bit ago. All good stuff. All good stuff. Haunted houses are the only controlled scary thing I like. I hate roller coasters and rides and anything like that, but I love me some haunted houses. See, I feel very vulnerable at haunted houses. I feel like I'm going to get touched in a bad way. Not that kind of bad way. Not like a Matt Fauci touching you kind of bad way. Yeah, H2O is pretty rough. Pretty rough. Wouldn't get too concerned. This Jason Universe thing was announced last year, and merchandise and live attractions were some of the biggest talking points. Yeah. Well, but when they talk about big news coming out, and then this is what they have for us, terrible. Just terrible. Yeah, those little action figures are super cool. Not big on collectibles. I did have to get that Tom Atkins figure from Night of the Creeps. Hell yeah. The hurricane screwed up me going to a con. Oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks. Yeah, we have monsoons out here, but very rarely does it ever get to the point where it would, prevent events from going on. Oh no, Jamie, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I have mine set on the channel just so I know that everything's working. So yeah, a half hour before I get like a notification and all that stuff. Forgot my wrench. Matt, I can throw you a wrench. I know I don't want you to feel obligated to be over here to mod. You know, we do have plenty of mods. I trust you to be a mod because I know you mod elsewhere, but you know, I don't want you to feel obligated or anything like that. So yeah. And Denise, I'm so sorry I didn't even say hello to you. Denise is one of our great Patreon members and YouTube channel members. Happy Friday the 13th to you, Denise. I hope you're having a great day so far. And I must have missed Eli jumping in as well, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. Hope you're having a great Friday the 13th so far, Eli. Always a pleasure to see you, my man. Made it home and now got to make some ribeyes for dinner for mom. Happy Friday the 13th back to you, Brett. Save the neck for me, Clark. Gina's celebrating 10 months of YouTube membership. I think you've been a member the whole entire time, Gina. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for your continued membership and support. Let's see here. Check out the trailer, and I'm waiting on my Never Hike Alone Blu-ray set. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I might as well show that off, guys. So there's Never Hike Alone 2, signed by Tom Matthews and Vin. The Never Hike Alone Ghost Cut, which is everything. It's Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow, the Disappear music video, and Never Hike Alone 2 all clipped together. There's Never Hike in the Snow and the original Never Hike Alone. All of those are signed by Vin, and then Never Hike Alone has a really cool card. I know I've showed this off before, but I'll show it off there again for you. It's a thank you card signed by Tom Matthews and Vincent DeSanti, and it's a numbered copy, number 275 out of 1,000. I got a nice, like, round number. Kind of cool. Vin was looking out for me, you know what I mean? What's happening, Paula? We love you too. Thank you so much for always sharing great horror movie news with me on Instagram. You're one of my resources. Paula is great at doing that. Holy cow, we've got Blake from All the Good Names Are Taken podcast. Blake, I loved your guys' video for the Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast trivia yesterday. Hilarious. I love that they had to blur out your shirt. I would have never blurred that out because I didn't think there was anything wrong. I thought when it was blurred out, I was like, oh my God, does it say like, does it say Camp Crystal Cock or something like that? Like, that's what I thought they would blur out, like an actual bad word. But I saw your post on Twitter and there's no bad words there. I guess maybe some people would have their sensibilities offended, but sensibilities are meant to be offended, people. Hate to tell you. Yeah, a fan that knows what many other fans want? No way! Thank you so much for sharing that, Eli. Really appreciate you. Yeah, guys, All the Good Names Are Taken podcast. I love what Ronnie and Blake do over there. They truly are unique, man. Those guys they don't give a fuck, and I mean that in the best of ways, where they have so much fun. It's so tough to describe it, but it's irreverent, it's charming, it's endearing, and irreverent. It's 2 times irreverent. Let's see here. I love it when people have no idea what they're talking about. Speak like they know what they're talking about. Yeah, Dean, it seems like is that a running theme? Has that popped up in your life sometime recently? And Jamie says, whatever, don't listen to those idiots, Davey. Vin deserves the praise and attention. I know, but as soon as you start praising people, other folks assume that you're doing it because it benefits you. You know what I mean? The idea of like altruism doesn't make any sense to them, you know? So yeah. Yeah. Denise says, who cares what others say? If you like it, promote it. There you go. Yeah. Vin is doing amazing things for Friday the 13th while the fans wait and wait and wait for official projects. And I think sometimes people maybe it's just because they're reading words on a screen and they see Vin's posts and they're like, oh, this guy seems like, you know, he thinks he's just the greatest thing ever. And it's like, well, it's not just that. Like, he's put the proof to the camera. His films have gotten better and better. And if you watch him on a stream, whether it's, you know, the other night he was on Late Night with the Davey, last night he was on Facci Cinema, and that was a fantastic stream. And then he does his own streams almost every Friday for Ghost Files. Once you actually listen to him talk about things, like, you realize, yeah, no, this guy is super sweet, very nice, and incredibly knowledgeable. Yeah. What's happening, Ashton? Great to see ya. We got Ben Grimm, one of our amazing channel members, in the chat. Bad touch in a Bloodhound Gangway. There you go. Hey, babe. How you doing, Wolfman's Got Nards? What's happening? We got Barry in the chat. That's why we go a little bit earlier, guys, so folks across the pond can tune on in. Hope you're doing well, Bear. Guys, Barry's got a brand new second channel where he does reactions. Again, he doesn't need me to shill his stuff, but I will shill his stuff. I've been watching Barry for... oh gosh, Barry, 11 years or so. I say this all the time, but he and Lee from Drum Dums were two of my biggest inspirations and people that made me want to do YouTube long before I ever did. And I should have started way back when. Fluff says there's no such thing as a Matt Facci bad touch. That's hilarious. Womp Stomp is great. Check out the Friday the 13th Vengeance fan films also. The second one, Bloodlines, is almost Terrifier levels of gore. It's on YouTube unrated. Yeah, there's so many fan films out there for all sorts of different tastes. And, you know, Vin is definitely in that vein of like Jason Lives. And then you've got stuff like, you know, Vengeance here. I think Bloodlines, is that the one where they brought Terry Kaiser and Lar Park Lincoln back into the mix? And is Michael Myers, does he show up in that movie? I think so. What's happening, Shay? We got Shay from Shay Rants, one of our great channel members, jumping in to say, what's up, Davey? Hope you're having a good evening. I am. It's only 2 p.m. out here, but I'm having a good UK evening. I hope you're doing well also. Happy Friday the 13th to you. Guys, Shay has a channel, really fun stuff. A young buck out there taking that YouTube journey. Bogus Reactions. There he is. There is Barry's second channel. What are you on, your phone and the computer? There you go. Watching since I had dark brown hair, Davey. Yes, very much so, Barry. It's been a lot. How many times do you think I've heard hi guys, my name is Barry, welcome back to the channel? I've heard it so many times. Love it. Gotta love how supporting friends and things you enjoy are now shilling all the time. Yeah, it's because I'm getting paid or something, or because I have a working relationship. Guys, I'll be honest. I was so nervous to meet Vin the first time. I was all set to just interview Cecil about Dylan's New Nightmare because it was like a month after the film had a pre-screening. So I think it was right before the film came out. And Cecil was like, well, hey, Vin is going to be there. And he worked on the project. And he also did Never Hike Alone. Do you want to interview him too? And I got so incredibly nervous. I was like, oh my God. Like, because I had been watching Never Hike Alone since it had come out. To me, Vin was like, you know, I mean, he literally is taller than me, but he's also like, I really looked up to him and saw him as like a celebrity. And I still do, for sure, to a certain degree. But he treated me like a friend from right away. Like sometimes you meet people and it is tough. It seems like there's a wall up or a barrier, or maybe there's just something going on in their lives and they don't seem as like available. But Vin has always made himself very available, and he's been really sweet and giving with his time. There's no reason why I wouldn't say lovely things about what he's doing, regardless of how I feel. But I also happen to really enjoy what he creates. So there you go. That'll be the last little bit on Womp Stomp there. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jamie. Yes, shilling for Barry, gonna get a check. Ching, and then maybe a check from Bogus Reactions. There you go. Boom, there it is. Okay, cool, guys. Let's go ahead and get into our favorite. Maybe I'll make a little banner for this, right? Best franchise moments. Guys, let me know. There we go. That's not too distracting, is it? Even though it's kind of covering up the Friday the 13th thing. Sorry about that, guys. I do my best around here. There we go. But yeah, guys, let me know in the chat some of your favorite Friday the 13th franchise moments. I'm going to kind of shoot from the hip on this because I've watched these movies so many damn times. So I haven't sat here and like prepared like pictures or a slideshow or anything like that. We all know the movies. You can picture the moments I'm talking about. And maybe we'll cover some moments that are, you know, we all know what the big ones are. Like I said at the beginning of the stream here, an hour ago, finally getting to the task at hand. The Crispin Glover dance, says Manny's Manic Media. An amazing moment. And actually, Manny, I'm going to take away your chat really quick. Oh, maybe I should take away the banner. There you go. That's fine. We're just going to roll with this, guys, because I want to look at Terry's butt the entire time. But you can see right to the left of Terry's butt is Crispin Glover's dance. So there you go. Yeah, let me know your favorite moment. If you could be sweet and put something like moment in all caps, just so I can like spot those as the chat goes through, that would be very, very helpful. Gina says the opening of the remake is brilliant. And yeah, Gina dropped her top 5 of the franchise as a comment on one of my Friday the 13th videos. Her favorite in the franchise is the 09 remake. And I do really enjoy the 09 remake. I understand Vin makes great points about it. And I think, you know, he and I probably look at this in a bit of a different light. He's much more passionate about the Friday the 13th franchise. I just really enjoy the film for what it is, you know, even though it's not perfect. But yeah, Gina, the opening of the remake is like a little miniature movie in and of itself, right? I mean, it's like 15 minutes long. You kind of get a nice condensed Friday the 13th story there. Great song with Sister Christian, you know, so you have that little moment. You got the, you know, the weed element, so you get that party element. You got some hot, dumb people, some of the worst fake boobs I've ever seen in my entire life, in real life or on film. But some really awesome kills as well. And a little taste of that trapdoor spider Jason, which I really love in the 09 remake. And we have another 09 remake moment here from Barry. Says, oh, your tits are stupendous. You got perfect nipple placement, baby. Yes. Oh my gosh, what a moment. And you know what? That is a good pair. We get a bad pair at the beginning of the movie, and then we have a really nice set, you know, about 2/3 of the way through. What a terrible line of dialogue, but also like so memorably perfect. Guys, let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this after the fact, have you ever said anything quite like that to somebody in real life? I'm curious to know. And I mean, say it in a true moment of passion, not just quoting the movie because they know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. We're talking about all sorts of terrible, terrible stuff. Goddamn enchiladas from Demon. Yes, Miguel Nunez Jr. Just about everything about his performance and his appearance in the film is so memorable. You know, the guy's just he's just barely in there. You know, in Return of the Living Dead, he has, I would say, a much bigger role. Obviously, both of those films came out in 85, you know, A New Beginning and Return of the Living Dead. Everything about his performance is just a knockout of the park. You know, the ooh baby, and then the goddamn enchiladas, of course, before that. He's like, you're gonna get it, bitch. Like what he says when he thinks it's I guess he knows it is his girlfriend at that point. She's like giggling and shaking the outhouse. Yeah, goddamn enchiladas. Great. There you go. Perfect nipple placement is Jamie's favorite as well. 09 is Barry's favorite film in the franchise as well, Gina. I did not know that, Barry. I did not know that. My favorite is Jason Lives. I'm a basic bitch when it comes to that. Jordan Decker says, I love hot, dumb people. They're my favorite. Well, you know, that was one of the big criticisms with the 09 remake is people were like, it's just a bunch of sexy young people getting slaughtered at a lake. And I'm like, have you seen the Friday the 13th movies? Have you seen any of them? Like, that's what they are. So I guess the movie's great then because it gave you everything that this franchise is, you know, known for. Todd says, moment. Yeah, it's cliche, but the sleeping bag kill cracks me up every time. Yeah, it is a classic kill. I do wish we got a couple more hits in there. I know what they reduced it to just one impactful hit in the final cut of the New Blood. And I suppose that works, right? Just one huge hit enough to, you know, cause that, blunt force trauma, as they call it. But it would have, you know, along with all the other kills in the New Blood, it would have been nice to see, or at least to be able to watch a version that is more intense and gruesome. I mean, you hire John Carl Buechler, you want the gore, you know, at least I want them. All right. Calls her dude. What a weirdo. I think, you know, calling a chick a dude is, I don't know. I call chicks dudes for sure. Everyone's a dude, as the Good Burger song tells us. No bad pairs and boobies. They aren't a game of poker. I don't know, man. When they're fake and they're not done well, that's just a shame because that's very expensive. And then they just look goopy. They look like googly eyes. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Gene says moment, the one where the guy in the wheelchair gets the machete in the face. Yeah, I think that's Mark. Is his name Mark, guys? Yeah. That is a classic moment, especially the way that the freeze frame, you know, the lightning, the rain. I have no idea though, and I think I asked this when I did a watch party. Maybe you guys can help me in the chat or in the comments if you're watching after the fact. How does he get to the concrete stairs? Like we've seen, so he's on the porch. He's on like the covered porch of the main cabin. And then there's wooden steps, and then there's grass, and then there's the concrete steps. But he gets the machete in the face. He would have just been pushed back on the porch, right? He's facing the wooden stairs of the porch. How does he get to the concrete stairs? What happened? Did he step through a wormhole? Did Jason hit him with the machete and then like casually take him over and they just quick cut and then pushes him over? But yes, Gene, that is such a great moment. Love the freeze frame. Love the lightning and the rain. You never want to see somebody that's in a wheelchair get killed in a movie. But if you're going to do it, put them on some wheels and drop them down some stairs so they can be, you know, a murder slinky, as it were. Thank you so much for stopping in, Barry. Really appreciate you, man. Happy Friday the 13th, bud. The stupendous boobs is my favorite line ever, and yes, hubby has said similar things to me many times. It's charming. Yeah, you'd be surprised the kind of like corny, fun stuff you can say when your body is feeling good all over. I've said some crazy, I'm not going to repeat what I've said. I've said some things that I thought were kind of like funny, but they were also funny in a charming way that worked. So I don't know. Moment. Forget it, Vic. And then boom, axe to the head from A New Beginning. Ooh, Matt, you love is A New Beginning your favorite of the franchise, Matt? That's two thus far, shooter. Yeah, that whole scene with Joey, you know, getting the chocolate all over the sheets. He's such a mess. Joey is such a mess. Why is Roy not a part of his life? He lives in the same town. You know, help your kid out, bro. He's wearing like the tightest zip-up hoodie, walking around in white carpenter pants, chocolate all over his hand. This guy needs a father. Joey needs a father. He doesn't need the Mr. Inspiration for Indiana Jones from The Last Crusade as his, you know, surrogate father. He needs his dad, Roy. And because you weren't there, Roy, he says, forget it, Vic, and gets an axe to the head. And somehow, man, when they take the sheet off him later, somehow his arm was chopped off and ended up on his back. Did somebody like play with the crime scene? How does the arm end up on the back? That is one of those weird, like I should pause that moment and take a picture and be like, what's going on here? Who fiddled with the crime scene? What's going on? Great moment, Matt. So juicy, dude. Yeah, you guys can't get off the stupendous tits. You can get off on the stupendous tits, but you're not able to get off the stupendous tits. Silence, do good. Welcome on into the chat. You're kicking it with the Death Squad, says Freddy versus Jason. Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking moments, but if you love the whole entire movie and that's your favorite franchise moment, I always think of Freddy versus Jason as way more of a Nightmare on Elm Street film than a Jason film, than like a Friday the 13th. To me, it's a Nightmare on Elm Street with Jason as like the semi-hero of the whole bunch. Chester says Jason part 6 Jason Lives is my favorite. CJ Graham rules. I agree wholeheartedly, Chester. Love that. Yes, Freddy does prey on children. I don't know. I mean, he does the SA stuff in the remake, but I don't really consider that canon. Silence do good. I just prey on children as far as being a child killer goes. JG Michael sends in a $5 super chat and says, this moment is because I love Cat Isabel when she runs up to the cop car in only a towel screaming, "What the fuck do you think?" in Freddy versus Jason. I laugh out loud every time. So Kat Isabel, is that the girlfriend? Kat, is she the girlfriend from the beginning of the film, right? What the fuck do you... And the cop car, that's the guy from oh, what's his name? He's got a really unique like Irish name, and he was in Dead Man on Campus. What is that guy's name? He's also in Night at the Roxbury. Oh, I'm having a tough time, but I know it's a very unique Irish name for sure. Thank you, Matt. Yes. Yeah, we like to keep it clean for sure. So let's be good and let's be nice in the chat and not talk about weird, inappropriate stuff. Let's keep it to Friday the 13th, guys. It's Jason's birthday, and that's what we're celebrating. Appreciate everyone who is doing that. Boobs are like pizza. Even when they're bad, they're still good. JG Michael, also secondary reason I love that scene is because Gary there we go, Lachlan, okay, is the cop. Two of my favorite Canadians in one scene and just great comic relief. There you go. That's what yeah, Lachlan. And thank you so much, JG, for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. You didn't have to do that, but you're so sweet for doing so. We got Steve Mayers in the chat. Welcome on in. Says, greetings, Dave and Flick friends. Greetings right back at you, Steve. Happy Friday the 13th. Yeah, where do the stairs come from? It's ridiculous. I'm glad that I'm not the only one who wonders that, you know? To quote the horror geek, continuity is hard. I love the scene in the bar when Ginny is talking about Jason's psychology. Yes, that is a huge moment in the franchise, right? Because it's a little bit of pulling back the curtain, opening up the lore, you know, letting us know a little bit more about Jason. And yeah, Ginny's sort of like the audience for, you know, she sort of takes our place there, having those questions, but also making her, you know, studying to be a child psychologist. Like it's a great little bit for her character. It's one of the reasons why people love Ginny so much. Of course, she's capable, and I'm more than capable in the final act. She's friggin' great against Jason. But I think what leads to her being able to do what she does in the third act of the film, I mean, obviously it all comes from that psychology study. So it's such a great, you know, I always say, like, I love character development and character arcs. I think character development pushes a story. So your story can be relatively simple, and then use your characters to take that relatively simple story and turn it into something that's far more interesting, and that you can really say something through your characters. And yes, this scene right here, Jamie, thank you so much. The scene in the bar where Ginny is talking about Jason's psychology. I love that whole bar scene. I think it's really cool that in part 2, a lot of people end up living, because half of the crew just stays there at the bar getting wasted. Ted, our guy Ted, that's what do you guys think about him, like leaning up against the end of the frame there? And then I also have him right there with the mask. Love Ted. And he has like 17 empty beers in front of him. It's friggin' crazy. And I don't know what it is about that bar scene too, Jamie. Reminds me so much of the bar scene in Jaws 2. I don't know why. It just has that feel. All right. Matt Arnett says, moment going for the hat trick. Violent dancing to pseudo echo. Yes. Man, I love Violet's look. That like new wave, almost goth kind of look back then. Violet is like sexy in an unconventional way because she's got such a good look. I mean, she's a pretty girl and everything like that, but there's something about her style that really like kicks her up a couple notches for me. But yeah, what an awesome dance. Shout out to, I'm blanking on the name right now, but shout out to the actress who played Violet, because she's the one that was a fan of Pseudo Echo and got the song in the film. She's the one that lobbied for that. So there's a man with no light in his eyes. Anytime I watch that movie, that song gets stuck in my head for days. I like the part when Shelly knocks over the bikers' motorcycles. Ooh, that scene is really great. An awesome way to bring in some ancillary characters, some more cannon fodder for Jason in part 3, and a nice little like tense scene in the convenience store. You know, that was a big thing back then in the 80s, was that whole like showing bullies in movies and stuff like that, bullies picking on people, and of course the downtrodden standing up to them. I think, you know, say what you want about Shelley, and I think there are people out there that don't really like Shelley. I love the character Shelley. Without Shelley, Jason wouldn't have got his hockey mask, and I like that he stands up against those guys. He sees a moment and he's like, you know what? I don't have many tools in my belt, but I can at least like be a man right now. And it may not get him laid, but it didn't get him laid. But it's a good building block, Shelley. You got to stand up for the people in your life, for sure, even if you just met them. And yeah, that moment of him, just when they think they're like out of the woods and they can just, you know, go back to their cabin and be left alone, he backs up into their bikes. And I think I know, the funny thing is, it's not even, and anyone who's driven an old Volkswagen will know this. So usually, guys, in an old stick shift, a reverse is all the way to the right and down. But in the Volkswagens, in the old Volkswagens, reverse is all the way to the left and up. So reverse and first gear are right next to each other. I drove an 87 Jetta. It was my very first vehicle. And I'm telling you, the difference between reverse and first gear, that's such a feel thing that you really have to get used to. They are almost identical in their slots in the clutch. So it seems like, oh, Shelley's just a klutz and he backed into their bikes. It could have been an honest mistake and he accidentally went into reverse. Little Volkswagen tidbit there that no one asked for. Chester, thank you for reminding me. I have it starred over here. So let me jump back on over and grab that. My favorite Friday the 13th moment is when Jason gets his hockey mask in the remake. My favorite kill is the spear to the eye in part 3. All right. So this is a moment that Vin had mentioned the other night. He doesn't like the way that Jason gets the mask. I do like I love the way the sack looks. The sack head looks in the remake. Love that. And I do, when they finally show the mask, I like the way it's lit and all that stuff. It is an interesting scene. It is odd watching the guy feel up the mannequin. And apparently the mannequin is who took his V, which is very, very interesting. Favorite kill is the spear to the eye in part 3. That is amazing. I mean, that's the first kill where we see Jason with the hockey mask. The very first time we see him with the mask on. And oh God, I love the way he just like nails the shot and then is just basically like, yep, drops the harpoon gun or the spear gun, turns around, just nonchalant, doesn't even care, and like looks up into the light in the house, like the lit up window. It's just such a great moment, such an awesome frame. There's something so beautiful about that shot. That is a great favorite kill there, Chester. Thank you so much for sharing, man. Okay, I'm going to jump back on over here. Lachlan Monroe, that's his name. Okay, Lachlan Monroe. There you go. What's happening? Aaron Click, everybody. How you doing, Aaron? So great to see you. Let's see here. Let me see if we have any others. All right. Jamie Hart says, how about the part when Fox is swinging from the rope in the barn like she's never seen one before? Yeah, she's like kind of saying yippee or like whoopee, or like she's acting like no one says those things in real life when they're having fun. No one says like yippee and whoopee or anything like that. But yeah, Fox is like, for acting like a total badass in the convenience store, she's just like a little girl for the rest of the time. She doesn't even want them to like siphon the gas. She's like, come on, guys, this is a little too tough. Ah, yes. There you go. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, the girl from the beginning that the guy doesn't want to kiss her after she smokes. There's a set of stairs and presents that I have no idea where they go, and it still bothers me. I still need to see that movie, Dean. For once, the host is talking about keeping it clean in the chat and not dropping my name at the end of the sentence. It's true. It's true. Let's see here. I don't know if I mentioned it, but there's an incredibly FVJ fan edit by Neglify/Juice40 or Z0 that makes it more of a Jason movie. Also, the greatest twist ever. Okay. I didn't even know about that. Fan edit? I have no idea. So what did you want to be when you grew up is hilarious from the kids in Jason Lives. What an awesome moment. The humor in Jason Lives is excellent. Yeah, I mean, not even, there's that moment there. What did you want to be when you grew up? I love, when Court is talking to the kids and telling them about like the rock piles and trying to explain that it was some way of like native communication, which is like, he's just making it all up. It is the most like, there's something really funny about that. Cause I think for a long time, people would just make things up like that. They'd just be like, oh, this is some ancient native, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the kids are looking at each other like, yeah, right. Like this fucking guy. We did talk about the damn enchiladas, and then Matt had mentioned the damn enchiladas. I talked about the whole scene. Yeah. Ooh, baby. Hey, baby. Also saw something with the actress that played Violet went to the movie premiere with her friends tripping on acid. Damn. Todd, you're totally cool, man. You're totally cool. I know that with like the original franchise that Wes had thought about going that direction with Freddy, but they never made it a thing in the original run. It's never officially part of like the canon, even if it was talked about behind the scenes. But yeah, they surely went that way in the remake for some reason. I just think it's unnecessary. I think Freddy just like, kidnapping and murdering children is bad enough. You can, so I'm glad that they didn't go that far in the original franchise as far as like confirming that. I just don't think it was necessary for sure. When Shelly runs to the car, oh, don't make fun of a chubby guy running, Dean. I'm a chubby guy. Sometimes I have to run. Violet was played by Tiffany Helm, also in the great Women in Prison film, Reform School Girls with Wendy O from the Plasmatics and Sybil Danning. Oh man, I gotta watch that because I'll take all the women in prison flicks you got. You know what I mean? I felt sorry for Shelly. He tries so hard, but he also calls what's her face? He calls her, is it Vicky? Is that her name? Calls her a bitch just because she doesn't want to get with him. That's kind of mean. It's kind of mean, Favorite moment from Dean Renner, Jason Lives, and the triple decapitation. Oh, yes, the paintball scene. Some people hate the paintball scene. Some people love the paintball scene. I think it's pretty damn fun. Maybe the music is what throws me off, like the A-Team, snare drum kind of music. Love the triple decapitation. I wish we got the real version that they shot that was, much bloodier. I heard they talk about it in the commentary. There was like a way bigger effect there that they just didn't get to show because the MPAA made them cut it out, unfortunately. We got Leanna Bevy Rage in the house, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods, saying, hey, everyone, happy Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th right back at you, Leanna. Thank you so much for joining us. Aaron Click says, Davey, Reggie's high-pitched scream in part 5 is iconic. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got a final girl scream for sure. And that always makes me think of, and I know I say this all the time, when Pam finds Reggie after he's opened up the door to Tommy's room and there's a bunch of dead people in there. And Pam is like, Reggie, what's wrong? It's me, Reggie, it's Pam. It's like, yeah, Pam, he knows who the fuck you are. He just saw like 6 dead bodies. Give the kid a break. Jeez. Don't you get near me, Sheriff. I got a bomb on me. Oh, she's amazing. Will you shut the fuck up? It's another favorite line. Calling Junior a dildo. Amazing. Yeah, it was a different time back then, Jordan. You could say you had a bomb on you in a rural area in 1985. Now, probably if you say it anywhere, the feds are going to come knocking on your door. All right. I don't know what's going on. My internet's a little slow, probably because let's have a temperature check on June 13th, 2025 out here in the West Valley of Phoenix. Officially 104, feels like 110. How about that? That is incredible. So Matt says, moment, the end of part 3 where she wakes up at the end and sees Jason in the window of the barn without his mask. That part traumatized me for years. Oh, yeah. And he's got that, like, bloody face, and that excitement, that kind of like, and don't hate me for saying this, there's like this animalistic excitement, a puppy-like excitement that he's like, he can get to her, you know, that he's like, oh my gosh, like I can get the prize, you know, and then like busting through the door and everything like that. Yeah, what a great moment. I mean, the way they made his face look, where it's like just enough like off without being too grotesque or anything, very like uncanny valley, like really, really well done in part 3 for sure. And I mean, Richard Brooker, you know, that those traps and that work shirt and the pants, there's something like, I kind of like the Frankenstein-y sort of look of the outfit there. You know, even though part 3 is far from being my favorite in the franchise, the Jason look is tops. I mean, it's really, really good. Arguably the best look in the franchise. Sean says, one of my favorite moments is the waitress in part 5. And to think I was going to offer you my second candy bar. Yeah, Lana! Yeah, the cat jump scare, the booby show with the, it's showtime. Who's she doing that for? For me? Probably for me. Probably for Jordan. Probably for Jordan, too. Great set on her. Oh, my gosh. One of the best sets in the entire franchise, for sure. Yeah, Lana's really fun, and you get a nice little, you know, classic mid-80s everyone's doing coke kind of scene there. It is a shame with part 5, I know we're talking about best moments and everything, it is a shame in part 5 that it was heavily censored. I feel like more than half of the kills are cutaways and you barely even see the impact. It's almost as censored as the New Blood, I would say. Jamie, I might say yippee here and there, but I'm not normal. I would say it ironically, for sure. Yeah. Love the title card for Jason Lives. Thank you, Des. Yes, you're talking about the James Bond moment. The first, you know, one of the first moments that is meta in horror history. Jason Lives might be the first meta horror film. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or in the chat. That is an awesome moment. I love it. To me, that is truly, and I said this the other night on the, you know, the discussion of Final Chapter versus Jason Lives. One of the reasons why I picked, you know, Jason Lives as being the film that has the better atmosphere and direction is because I do feel like Jason Lives is where Jason becomes like a hero, like somebody that we kind of root for, you know. It's just there was a dynamic shift there. I think that opening scene coming back with the electricity from the lightning, you know, sort of like a Frankenstein moment, but then specifically Des, yes, that title card moment where he turns to the camera, slashes, you know, right after it, you know, circles in on him, a la James Bond. I think that is the moment right there where Jason is like anti-hero and officially the person that you're like going to the movies to cheer on. So that is a massive moment for the franchise and one of my favorites as well. Thank you for bringing it up. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, my breath. I need a break. I need to catch my breath. I used the Jason Lives Bond opening at the intro of my video today. Such an epic opening. And guys, watch that Never Hike Alone final cut trailer that just dropped today. There's some fun little extra Jason Lives homages in there. Chester, that is part 5. Oh, here we go, Jordan. I always like the part when Court asks Nikki, what are you back there taking a dump? Yeah, he's got that John Travolta up in him. That whole scene is really great, Jordan. You know, how long is the song they're listening to? It's like 13 minutes or 14 minutes. There were no, that didn't exist in the 80s for bands like that. There were no like glam rock bands putting together like epic, you know, Pink Floyd or Allman Brothers length tracks. It just wasn't happening, especially that kind of song would have been, I'm guessing, 3.5 to 4.5 minutes. So the perfect length for a little nookie. Yeah, that whole scene is great. I love the, you know, Jason pulling Nikki into the bathroom and the, you know, the liquid metal kind of look of pushing her head through the, I guess it's the mirror or just the wall there. Really awesome effect. And Jason sneaking up on court while Teenage Frankenstein's playing. Excellent moment. Stabbing him in the neck, and the music does the, you just hear the echo of Alice Cooper's voice go, Stein, 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 Stein. And then there's like that little bit of like silence, and then boom, the RV flips. Oh my gosh. Like, that is yet another reason why Jason Lives is the best. There's, orchestration there, dynamics, rhythm, cadence. Like, these are all things that Tom McLaughlin did such a great job with Jason Lives because he has that musical background. So he almost like, similar to like John Carpenter, when you have a director that has, or even it can go both ways, right? When somebody that's making a movie has musical knowledge and film knowledge, and they've got a talent and a skill for making those things work, they can put those two things together in a just fantastic way and make it so memorable. And I think that's one of those moments where just rhythmically and dynamically, that whole scene with the RV is, one of the best moments in the franchise. I mean, topped off, the cherry on the friggin' sundae is literally Jason standing on the RV. He is the cherry, the RV is the sundae. And, Court's tattered jeans are the whipped cream. There you go, RV scene. You need to last the whole song, Court. How much longer? 10 minutes? Yeah, never. They would never have had a 10-minute song. Where the red dot goes, ya bang. How about that, guys, in Jason Lives? A lot of Jason Lives being talked right now, but I'm cool with that. The rat-a-tat-tat, again, the cadence and the rhythm between Garrus and Tommy and Deputy Rick. I don't know why I'm forgetting his last name right now. Really, really good stuff there. Yeah, where the red dot goes, you bang is great. And then I love when Sheriff Garrus, when they're in the police station, Tommy bursts in, and they like, I can't tell if I can't remember if they draw their weapons on him or something, but Sheriff Garrus is like, geez, kid, you know how to, or what are you in show business? You sure know how to make an entrance. Something like that. That's even like a bit of a meta kind of moment, but also something that just, there's something about the dialogue in Jason Lives, especially with Sheriff Garrus, that has this old-timey, like 40s and 50s kind of quality to it that I really like. Let's see here. There you go. Just talked about that. Love it. Vera, thank you so much, Gina. I know there's so many, all these campers and their names. I get so lost. JG Michael says, Davey, have you seen New Blood Uncut? It's interesting when the deleted material is reinserted, much bloodier. I've seen those moments from like the VHS transfers and everything like that. I've not seen them inserted in. JG, if you want to hit me up on Twitter or like Instagram, the links for my, I think we follow each other on Twitter at least. If you have a link that you could send me, that would be great. I don't know if it's on YouTube, if they're allowed to have it there, or if it's, Daily Motion or somewhere. But if you have a link that you could share, that would be amazing, man. The uncut decap scene is on the Screen Factory Blu-ray. And okay, I've got that Blu-ray. I meant to show this off earlier, but yeah, I got that sweet little box set. Had to get this when it came out. It's beautiful. And it's going to be, well, who knows? It'll be obsolete by the time they get another movie out, I suppose. But this thing, I don't know, guys. I think 4Ks, nothing against 4Ks. I think Blu-rays are great. I don't think I need to rebuy these just to have 4K. Like, unless they're able to do something like restore all these cuts for, Jason Lives and, the New Blood there. Yeah, it's me. It's Pam. Pam's sweater. It's on, it's off. It's on, it's off. When it's off, you can see everything through the wet shirt. I quite like that. Yep, typical basic bitch dude right here. He did. That's a bad way to see them. Hopefully it wasn't his first time. He hurt me, Ma! He hurt me! Come on in and eat your slop. Yeah, here's the trick, Des. If my internet can keep up, because it's so hot, my internet can't keep up. Yeah, I hit that button like 10 seconds ago. Bring sunscreen. Stay out of the sun when you can. The AC is great. A pool is a fun time when it's hot out. Enjoy the nighttime when you can, because it feels a lot better at night, even though it's like 90. But 90 without the sun is a lot different than 90 with the sun, for sure. So yeah, I hope that we can all get together. I think it would be really cool. You know, the horror show guys, Braden, yourself, anyone else that wants to get together. I think it would be fun to kick it with you guys and actually meet in person. You know, I'm a nice guy. Okay, people. Jamie says it's 73 degrees here. Cool for this time of year. Yeah. Yeah, because I would imagine that at some point you get some more humid weather up there in upstate New York. Yeah, you got the humidity there, and you're somewhere in Texas, right, Des? Yeah, we need some rain big time. Okay, back to best moments. JG says, I like the scene in part 5 where the waitress does coke and rips her top off. Yes. Well, I think she takes her top off, or she opens up her little waitress outfit while she's changing, right? And then she, as I rub my nose, and then she does coke after. It's cloudy in the valley, or sunny in the valley, and snow flurries up your nose. Let's see. Yeah, that's just something women do. You know, they just amp themselves up. You know, they show their boobs off to themselves because they've never seen them before, and then they put banaka in their mouth and then banaka down their cleavage. There you go. Yeah, it is amazingly sleazy. I wish the gore could match the nudity part of the sleaze. I would. That's another one. I want a restored cut of part 5. You know, give me more of that. I'd buy a house in Alaska. I grew up there. I love it. I miss it. Very expensive to live there, though. Very, very expensive. Well, there you go. They're already after us because of the Freddy Krueger talk, and I don't know why we're talking about Freddy Krueger on Friday the 13th. There we go. No one has mentioned Crazy Ralph. It's got a death curse. Yeah, Crazy Ralph. In a long line of harbingers of doom in the series, right? Crazy Ralph. You've got the guy in part 3 lying down in the street that has the cow eye. And then you've got the groundskeeper of the cemetery in Jason Lives. So a long line of, although I guess the groundskeeper is not so much a harbinger of doom. He's just more of a old man drunk. But I don't know. They seem to all kind of fit to me. Yeah. Jason on Arsenio Hall when Jason Takes Manhattan was coming out. Yeah, that was a big moment there. So that's a fun. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not. That is a pretty awesome moment there on Arsenio Hall. Jason doesn't say a damn thing, but he's pretty damn funny there. Let's see here. What else are we talking about? Gaz, here's some. Welcome on in. Gaz says, what was the rumored special Friday the 13th announcement? I don't know. I guess I need to let me see if there's anything new on Bloody Disgusting, guys. I'm not seeing anything new. All that I've seen, and I will check, let me check Caleb Kane's Instagram. Let's see here. Because I saw he was the one that made the announcement on the casting update, but that's it. That's all we've seen. I don't know, guys. I think we're not getting anything substantial from these people today, you know. Davey, what are the live streams going on tonight? I don't see Pat That Halloween Movie Collector doing anything. So Bill Frickenstein from the Ever Scathed and Brett Patrick from Pat That Halloween Movie Collector, they're going to be at the actual lake for a screening, I think, of part 2. And they're going to go live right before that. So I think that's going to be around I think that's 5 o'clock Pacific. And then Vincent DeSanti is going live for Ghost Files on Womp Stomp Films YouTube at 5:15 Pacific. And I saw Movie Misfits Video. I believe that they're going live. I don't know if it's for a watch party. There's a whole bunch going on. So not only are people dropping vids, I saw Braden Timmons dropped a ranking of the franchise earlier this morning. Christian from Planet CHH has been dropping stuff. I've dropped a couple things as well. So yeah, I mean, as far as streams go, I'm going to be bouncing all over the place for that. It's going to be pretty crazy. Oh, that's just the person that posted the stuff coming back, huh, Jamie? Well, just kick him out. Kick him out. I'm sure you already have. The RV crash is amazing. Yes, yes, yes. The shot of him on top of it. Support of YouTube is Skynet. What's happening, Nicholas Woodall, one of our great channel members? How you doing, Nicholas? So good to see you. I feel like it's been a little bit. So welcome on back. Eat your fucking slop. So good. It can get a bit chilly at night. Yeah, 90. Might have to bring a hoodie. I know in general, you ladies run a bit cooler than us hot-headed guys, you know. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's fun, man. Part 5 is, if I hadn't watched it just a couple months ago, I think it was March, when I watched it with Vin for the 40th anniversary, I'd probably watch it, you know, after talking about all this, but I'm going to watch the New Blood today. Oh my gosh, it's 110 right now here in Phoenix, man. It's freaking crazy, crazy. If you're coming to Arizona, well, do yourself a favor and don't. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yep. All right, Nicholas Woodall's got a moment here. I like the part in Jason Takes Manhattan when Jason lifts his mask to the gang and they run away. That is a really cool moment, and it's cool that we don't really see. Like, we see just from the side what Jason's face looks like. Maybe the only time ever in the series where Jason shows personality. Is that? Guys, let me know in the chat, or if you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments. Is that the only time where Jason shows personality? Now, I know in part 2, he hides under the blankets, but that's so he can surprise, you know, what's-her-face, I think Vicky, and get her. But this is almost like a Michael Myers pretending to be Bob in the original Halloween moment for Jason, right? Like, sure, he could take those guys out. He probably would in most movies, even though he's in the middle of Times Square. But instead, he turns around and is basically like, you want this smoke? I don't think so. Let me know. I think that's the only time he really shows personality. Well, there you go. We got one in, Matt. We got one in. Nice, Brett. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The dude getting his head punched off. Yes, that's a fun moment. Memorable. I liked it a lot more when I was younger. Now when I'm watching Jason Takes Manhattan, I'm like, oh, just get to the head punching scene. Also, though, I do really like the blonde, bitchy, cokehead girl in Jason Takes Manhattan. I don't know. I don't know what it is. She's such a bitch, but there's something that's so alluring. Kind of like Melissa from Part 7, The New Blood. Oh my gosh. What a see you next Tuesday. I mean, just truly. But going back to Jason Takes Manhattan, guys, one moment that, you know, when I was thinking about all these movies and moments that I wanted to bring up. By the way, I love that you guys, it's like mostly you guys talking moments. That's what I wanted this to be. I can always think of a moment here and there. I love interacting with you guys. I don't know if you know this. It's kind of my thing on the Davey Death Ray channel is to make you guys all part of it. So thank you so much. And I think an awesome moment from Jason Takes Manhattan is the nightclub kill. Like the discotheque kill is just brutal. I mean, the stunt performance there is so impressive. I like listening to the commentary. It's like, I think the stunt woman like really did get the wind knocked out of her, but you know, she told Kane to really like let her have it. And fuck, man, it is jarring how real that looks. So I got to give it up to Jason Takes Manhattan for, you know, that moment at the very least, even though the movie just really isn't for me, you know. Let's see what else we got here. Dell on Movies is in the chat. What's happening, Dell? What's happening on Movies, Dell? How about that? Welcome on in. Welcome back. What are some of your favorite moments in the Friday the 13th franchise, man? Let me know. Let us all know. Wasn't it like 175 at first? I thought Christian and Garrett were nuts to pay that. I don't know. I think when I got it, Jamie, I want to say it was like 80 or 90 bucks when I bought it. I waited a few months and I got it on Amazon. It was new. It wasn't used. But yeah, I think it was like 80 or 90, if I'm right. Love that story with the AC on the RV. Yes. Yeah, the one of the producers wanted to take that AC unit when they were done, and Tom McLaughlin was like, fucking destroy that thing. Let's flip this RV and just like destroy that. F that guy. We got Doug in the chat. What's happening, Doug? I just always think of that, I guess, if I just see Doug. Says they announced a Jason Universe house for Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood and Orlando. Yes, they did, Doug. We covered that about an hour ago. Yeah, we covered some news. So if you scrub on back, all of the big news that's dropped today we've covered. I really wish it was, more real news, but here we go. Oh, thank you so much for pausing part 5 so you could hang out with us, Des. You're too sweet. 110, yeah. Hot as balls. Yeah. Yeah, it's rough, man. I mean, I'm in the AC right now. I'm not outside. I wouldn't be able to do it if I were outside. Wow, 145 when it first came out. That is wild. Let me see if you guys have any other. Here we go. We got the frozen head kill on Jason X. Yes, the liquid nitrogen kill. Can't talk about Jason X without talking about that kill. Maybe the most famous and most beloved kill in the franchise, I would say. The effect is great. I mean, it's a dummy, but man, that's an awesome dummy that they use. I'm not the biggest fan of Jason X because the production value is so incredibly low. It looks like a sci-fi television show. But that kill is great. That's a great moment there. Yeah, there you go, Jamie. The part where Ginny yells, "There's someone in this fucking room." And I think you've mentioned that photo before. I love that you got that. That is so cool. You'll have to show that off the next time you appear on the channel. I'd love to see it. Yeah, I mean, not that whole scene. Yes, her yelling that line is great. There is something really chilling when you see Jason before Paul sees him too. Like when she sees him, we see him with the flashes of lightning. There's something that's just so real about that. Something that's so like, cinema verite, like that real kind of cinema feel to it. And there's something very realistic about that fight too, because we're used to all these movies where everyone knows how to perfectly fight in a choreographed way. And so fights are so like mechanical and all that. But fights really aren't that way because most people aren't trained to fight. So I do think like the ground struggle with Jason and Paul is very realistic. And then I'm going to piggyback on top of that, Jamie, and say, this is a moment I talk about all the time. When Ginny gets to Jason's shed, she doesn't know it's Jason's shed, but when she finally gets in there and she's like looking around, there's a window over her right shoulder and you can see Jason like running up to the window in the background. Another great cinema verite, another awesome. I love those moments where it's like a little do they know, but the audience gets to know kind of moment. That moment there in part 2 is chilling. I love that shot so much. It's one of the reasons why part 2 is my third favorite in the franchise. Yes, we taught. That was the first one that got mentioned, Del. The first one that got mentioned was Crispin Glover's dance. So friggin' great. Oh my God. So good. Tad, where's the corkscrew? Like, where did that accent come from, Crispin? What happened? The mental gymnastics you have to perform to get that boat from Crystal Lake to New York. Yeah. A lake that has an inlet big enough for a cruise. Big enough for a yacht? Is it really a lake? If you can get from the lake to the ocean, is it really a lake? I think it might be called something else. I think it might be called a bay. I don't know. I always thought lakes were solitary units of water, and probably at a certain point, because of size, it's maybe a pond when it's small. It becomes a lake at a certain size. I didn't know that lakes could be connected to an ocean. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if there's like a river that runs into like a tributary. But again, to get the yacht from a lake to the ocean through a tributary, I don't know. I suppose it's possible. But yes, like you're saying, Matt, I'm going through the mental gymnastics trying to figure it out. Friggin' crazy. Let's see what else we got here. I have to stop saying How much does it bug you guys when I say I love the jump scare at the end of the original movie. Wow, I can't believe, we haven't said that one yet. That is kind of set the standard, you know, for the first 3 films, especially. And not only that, really, I mean, the first 3 films kind of do something similar with the jump scares, but the 4th film and the 5th film end on a little bit of it's a different kind of jump scare, but it's also like a, what's Tommy going to do next kind of moment, you know? And then even at the end of part 6, you see Jason like clenching his fist. So you see there's still a little bit of life in him when he's chained down in Crystal Lake. So yeah, that became a thing for the franchise. And shout out to, I think it was Tom Savini, who was the one that thought of doing that by, you know, because of Brian De Palma's Carrie film. He wanted to bring a moment like that into the movie and a chance to show off little kid Jason. Guys, imagine if that moment didn't happen. That might have been it for the franchise, right? Because that moment is so signature and so memorable. And then it also shows us a physical version of Jason. So instead of just being a story that Pamela tells, we actually get something visual to match with the story. And it kind of helps paint that picture and, you know, helps us feel a little bit more for Jason for sure. Let's see here. The disco soundtrack of the beginning of part 3. I dig the disco soundtrack. I know it was like disco was already done at that point, but I like that it's different. I mean, what are you going to do? The same soundtrack again? You already did the same, you know, you already repeated in the second film pretty much. So I like that they did that, you know? Even though I don't like the original much, that third act is top tier. Yeah, everything after Alice making coffee, right, Ashton? I don't know. I really like, there are moments in the first movie I really enjoy. I love seeing like Bill like arrowed to the door. I know it doesn't really like make sense necessarily, but it is such a, I don't know, what an image. I mean, it's just one of those images. When I think of the original film, that's an image that sticks out to me. And one of the first images I think of is Bill arrowed to the door, just blood all over, like lifted up on the door. It is haunting for sure. Jason X is horrible, but it's so bad it's not boring, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's a fun time. It certainly has its fun moments for sure. Yeah. I like the part in Jason X when that chick gets sucked through the wall and she says, "This sucks on so many levels." Yeah, that is a pretty funny moment for sure. How about Jason taking out like that entire like SWAT team? I mean, just the amount of kills he has in that scene in Jason X is incredible. Yeah, Jason X is God. I know Vin wants to do a sequel. I think Vin would handle a sequel of Jason X better than the real Jason X. I think his version would be better, his sequel. Yeah. Yeah, a callback to the New Blood Part 7. Yeah, for sure. That whole scene is pretty funny. Like do you want to do some drugs and have some premarital sex, and they're showing off their boobs. Yeah. Yeah, not a fan of the Uber mask. Not a fan of Uber Jason, really. Yeah, that's such a great shot. There's something so like, and then you've got the strings, the Harry Manfredini score during that whole final act of part 2 that just like it's like you're watching a Hitchcock slasher movie. You know, like a slasher the way we know it, not a proto slasher like Psycho, but a slasher the way we know it. But it has that Hitchcockian feel because of the a couple of those great shots. Now the whole film doesn't look like Hitchcock, but a couple of those shots are, you know, brilliant. And then, you know, that music, man. Part 8 just started on TV. There you go. Oh, part 2 is so good. Yes, guys, it is so good. It is my 3rd favorite. I love part 2. Yeah. Let's see here. Love the cinematography in part 2. Lakes are just gigantic puddles. Yeah. Can a lake have an outlet to an ocean? Can it still be a lake? I feel like it's a bay. I don't know. Don't know, guys. I'm not and it's not even marine biologist. I'm not a geologist. I'm not an oceanographer. We got Ryan Olashow in the chat. How are you doing, Ryan? Awesome for your Oilers yesterday. What a comeback from being down 3 goals. And then even after Florida ties it up, you guys take the third OT game in the series to tie the series at 2-2. I am so pumped for your Edmonton Oilers, and I'm rooting for you guys. So pumped. Ryan says when Jason grabs Tommy through the window is an iconic Friday the 13th moment. Yes. How about all the window moments, guys? Let's see if I can go through them. In part 1, what's her face? Girl in the longest nightgown ever gets thrown through the kitchen window, right? That happens. Part 2, Jason jumps through the window at the end of part 2. Part 3, horn dog guy who had his eyeball squeezed out, whose name I can't remember, gets thrown through the window. Part 4, right here, Jason grabs Tommy through the window. Part 5, Jason, he does blow through the door like the Kool-Aid man. Part 6, I don't think there's a window thing in part 6 because he grabs the one girl, but the window's already open. Part 7, he jumps through the window. He has that awesome, just like, what a jump through the window there. I think that might be it as far as window jumps in the franchise. Is there a window jump or a body that gets thrown through window in any of the other films? Maybe in the remake. I don't know, guys. Let me know. Did I get all of them? But yeah, that's a great moment. I think Corey Feldman looks genuinely surprised there. I don't know if he really knew when it was coming because he looks super freaked out. There we go. Why do the opening credits of part 8 have that lingering shot for like 30 seconds of that nasty ass rat? Why does part 8 even exist, right? Come on. How about talking about bad opening credits? I know we're talking about best moments, but man, the New Bloods opening credits are dreadful. The music is really bad. I hate the synth hits with the drums that are like spaced out. Oh my God. It just like, it drives me nuts. I probably would have walked out of the theater just because of that. And Jason's eyes open too. Okay, there we go. Yes, you're right. Yep. Cue the music. Thank you for completing the moment there for me, Dean. Yeah, Darkest of the Night or whatever it's called. Yeah, it's a good song for what it is. It doesn't really fit the movie at all, but like, yeah, the song is pleasant enough for sure. Jason coming out of the lake is still the gold standard. Yeah, I love him coming out of the lake in the in part 6 when he's walking up on the shore. Coming out of the lake in part 7. Oh my goodness, and you see that spine. The ribs, man. John Carl Buechler just knocked it out of the park with that design on Jason in The New Blood. I mean, I know that's not like that we could put together the moments. Him walking out of the lake, seeing the spine and everything, that's great. Him and Tina like looking at each other from like down the dirt road before she uses the roots to like put him in the puddle and electrocute him. When she breaks his mask off and he like, kind of gives that like snarl sort of thing. Just really great design there. Those are all great moments. The light bulb smashing him in the head, him falling through the stairs, the fire stunt. I mean, Kane Hodder, who almost lost his life in his early 20s doing a fire stunt, and then to be able to do something like that, which is incredibly impressive. He doesn't even look too bulky. It's nothing like the A Nightmare on Elm Street fire stunt, which is laughable nowadays. The one from The New Blood is incredibly impressive. Yeah, so many great moments in The New Blood. It's a shame that movie could be so much better if we really could get that, the cut that we were meant to get. Ginny pretending to be Mrs. Voorhees in part 2 is fantastic. There you go, Dell. Thank you so much, man. That is that's a great point that no one's brought up. Yeah, that is that's another moment that not only is it a great character moment for Ginny, in that it, shows that child psychology side of her. It shows how resourceful she is as a final girl. It's also a moment that strengthens Pamela's character because it really shows that Jason is a mama's boy, that he sort of, he listens to his mom. And that's like one of the only things he can really understand in life. It's one of the only things that can pacify him, seemingly. So that is a great moment. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Yeah. She thinks quick on her feet, stuffs her hair in there so she can look like she has short hair. She's trying to make herself look like the dried apple head on the altar there. And yeah, it not only does it like strengthen the lore, it also builds on that, like this whole thing that Vin has been talking about as they do the Crystal Lake TV show, is that Pamela should have her day because she is really important here. She is the reason for the season. She's why Jason is ultimately the way he is, you know, why he becomes a killer and why he becomes a revenant later on in the series. So yeah, thank you, Del. That's an awesome moment. Let's see here. Top moment in the OG is the Kevin Bacon death. Yes, the arrow through the mattress, through the neck, and the gurgling and the pulsing. Tom Savini having to blow through the tube because the effect failed on him. Yeah, it looks really good. Looks amazing on these Blu-rays, guys, because on a lot of the VHS transfers and the stuff you might see, you know, on a streaming platform or something, I don't know which versions they use on there, but I would imagine they have the versions where the makeup doesn't match the skin tone very well. It's got this gray look, so you can see the gray patches, not only on Kevin Bacon's kill, but on who's the very first kill, the woman that's going to be the cook. I can't remember her name. Her neck doesn't look quite right in those older versions, but guys, on this Blu-ray set here, let me show it off once again. They really do a good job of matching the color, especially on the earlier films. So I recommend picking those up if you haven't yet. Boom, N64. That's a fun one. Not as cool as the Super Nintendo is still the best system of all time. The N64 has a handful of good games, right? I'm watching it as well. Just started second season, Ashton. JG says, I have a fan edit of Jason X that cuts the movie to 71 minutes and adds in a Carpenter soundtrack. That is wild. Didn't even know that existed. Oh, we got Prince in the chat, says, womp womp. Happy Friday the 13th. Never hike alone, baby. My collab with Kenny Sledgehammer is coming in October. Hell yeah, Prince. Looking forward to that. Happy Friday the 13th to you, my guy. Look at that, guys. We've got Frank Riker, Mr. Frankly Speaking, in the chat. Welcome on in, Frank, one of our great channel members, giving me a thank you for yesterday. I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but yeah, the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast hosted an awesome Friday the 13th trivia yesterday where they brought in some of the community to compete in a really great trivia game. And they reached out to a bunch of content creators to provide bonus questions. So, you know, there was Pat That Halloween Movie Collector and Brett were there. You know, Dave McCrae made an appearance on that. Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards. Chris Stanley. And I have no idea, probably because I bugged Darren to try to become a contestant, that he was like, do you want to do a bonus question instead? So I was so fortunate enough to be able to contribute to their trivia. It was an absolute blast. Really appreciate it, Frank. I know I plugged myself for quite a while. They gave me some shit, but I'm pretty sure it comes from a good place. I feel good about it. And Frank said some really sweet stuff. I'm like losing my words right now. Frank was very sweet about you know, what I do here on YouTube. And yeah, man, I'd love to you know, put something together with you guys in the near future. I know we've been trying to make it work, but you know, it'll happen. We'll find the right time. JG says David Cronenberg has a what? Is that Cronenberg cameo in Jason X? Yeah, that's an interesting moment. Maybe it could be considered a best moment, because what a coup to get somebody like David Cronenberg to cameo in Jason X. And he does a really good job. He does a damn good job there. Yeah, I'm into his performance. Would have been interesting if he had like made it somehow and got to be in the movie a little bit more. That could have been fun. Could have been fun. Let's see here. Sean says, who are we kidding? Ending in Jason Goes to Hell with Freddy's glove. Grabbing the mask was the same thing as showing Xeno Skull and Predator 2 ultimate fanboy boners. Yeah, Sean, that's a really good moment. Man, we had to wait quite a while after that happened. But that was a really great way to end that movie. Kind of in line, not so much with like the jump scare thing, but you know, as far as giving us a surprise, like a nice stinger at the end of the film. Jason Goes to Hell certainly delivers on that for sure. Let me see what else you guys have going for best moments. I have to try to avoid the video game talk. Violet gets thrown out the window in 5, right? She gets stabbed in the stomach. Is she in Tommy's room on the bed? I don't know. Does she get thrown out of a window, guys? Let me know. I don't know. You're probably going to get some Part 8 slander. I mean, I still watch it. Does that change anything, Brett? I still watch it. I know what it is. I know what it is. Oh my gosh, we got Adam, or should I call you Ali, in the chat. Welcome on in, Adam. Not sure if this is your first time, but if it is, everyone make Adam feel very welcome. You are kicking it with the Death Squad. Dean says, I swore in 6 when Jason kills the girl in the cabin, he throws her through the window after she's dead and pulls her back in. Maybe. You're talking about the girl, we don't really see the death. Yeah, smashes her through, but just smashes like her torso through the window, pulls her in, and then later on we see the cabin and it's like spattered with blood just all over the place. Is that what you're talking about, Dean? I think so. Hey, the dog jumps through a window in Part 4. Yeah, Gordon. Man, there's a drinking game for you. Take a shot every time Gordon is said in Part 4. There's like one little scene where Tommy just keeps on saying Gordon. He keeps on saying his name. It's like the Pam thing. He's like, Gordon, how you doing, Gordon? What you been up to, Gordon? You got yourself a girlfriend, Gordon? And it's like, at that point, you're going to be thrown up because that's 4 shots within like 10 seconds. So there you go. Aaron says, Davey, can someone explain in Part 3, the handstand guy appears to get chopped in half staring at the groin, but later the body is chopped at the waist? Is it? I'm trying to picture it. We get such a quick shot of him folded up above the hammock, right? Because what's her name's chilling in the hammock, pregnant girl. Everyone forgets that she's pregnant, so that's a double kill there for Jason. Yeah, what is he even like held up by? I don't know. That's another moment, Aaron, sort of like Joey with his arm on his back. How'd that happen? Where I'd have to pause it and really take a look. I've never noticed that he's chopped at the waist horizontally before. Never noticed that. New Blood sucks, but I like the part when Tina rips the pearls off that mean girl's neck with her mind. Yes. No, that's a great moment. Yeah, Melissa's such a bitch, man. Just for no reason. Just because another girl is there. She's like the stereotypical toxic chick, Just when Tina shows up, she's like, well, there goes the neighborhood. And it's like, fucking neighborhood? You have 2 houses on this lake. You don't even know this person. What a bitch. What a biatch. How about best moments? And I'm appealing, if Frank is still in the chat, I'm appealing to his sensibilities. Like the redheaded chick in The New Blood. She's got kind of like auburn hair. The set on her. Holy crap. Those are 2 of the best moments right there. Oh my goodness. Nice and heavy, but they sit really high. Oh, they're so nice. I swear, not all the talk will be dirty here. When Jason kicks the gang's boombox and takes his mask off. Yes, Ryan, we talked about that one a little bit. I love that. I think that's the only moment in the franchise where Jason shows a personality. Yes, Des brought up that one, the James Bond opening. Yes. Jason says to Ginny, they hurt me, Ma. That's great. Love it. We love what we love. If MPAA didn't meddle with The New Blood, it'd be top 3. Yeah, probably. At least top 5. Yeah. It's still got a lot of good going for it, but it's tough. Like, I understand why somebody wouldn't like it. Like, I get it. I don't get much joy out of rewatching it, but I will say this, Brett. When I was a kid and I saw these on television, that was my favorite one. They were all edited for television, so no boobs, no blood. And I just love the way Jason looked, and I love the kind of X-Men, Jean Grey versus Jason kind of vibe for sure. Yeah. Sean Laughlin says, my favorite Friday the 13th moment was anytime I got to play as Jason in the video game. That was a damn fun game, but I always got my ass kicked. Yeah. Oh, when he goes faces KM, the android. That's a pretty fun moment. That is a really fun moment. I don't get a lot of fun out of Jason X, but I do enjoy that. You know, as far as Uber Jason, or no, that's before Uber Jason, right? Because that's what turns him into Uber Jason. Man, wild. I like the decapitation kill in part 5 when the son gets killed. That kill was by Tom Mort. When the son gets killed. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Junior. Yeah, riding around on the motorcycle. Guys, I got to hang out with Ron Sloan at Days of the Dead. I worked the horror show channel table, and he hung out there all day with us, signing stuff and all that kind of fun business. And he has the actual head. He brings the head around with him. It's really, really cool. And Ron is the friggin' sweetest guy. I mean, you guys know how much I blah, blah, blah all the time. I told myself, like in my head, I'm like, dude, just keep it business. Don't gush. Don't talk too much around this guy. And then he was the one that was like, so what do you do for work? What's your life like? Like, what other kind of movies do you like? Like, what got you into movie? Like, I'm like, oh my God, Ron's really sweet. So then we just ended up like kind of becoming buds, like hanging out for 6 hours, working the booth together. So it was super cool. And then I was fortunate enough to do an interview with him. I'll probably share that on the channel here later today. I try to reshare all my Friday the 13th stuff. I know I need to do new content, but we're making new content right now. How about it? How about it? Let's see. Still more video game talk. I'm trying to navigate here. Yeah, Todd, you're right. There is a lake in Arizona with Jason at the bottom. Yeah, and it's the version of, it's from part 6, right? So gloves, utility belt, all that stuff, chained to the rock. I wonder how far away is that? You said you've dived there. Whereabouts is it? I know you're in the Tucson area. I'm in the Phoenix area. How far away is that from me, if you had to guess? Oh yeah, the RV. Yep. Talked about that one too. I'm so sorry, Ryan. We talked about because guys, we've been going for almost 2 hours, 15 minutes. I probably would have ended this a while ago, but we have 29 people hanging out. You guys are absolutely amazing. I know there's so much amazing content, you know, for Friday the 13th on YouTube. We've got some streams coming up later, you know, to enjoy. I'll be there in the chat rooms with you guys. So I don't want to eat into that time and all that stuff, but I so much appreciate you guys hanging out with me here and being part of the stream and contributing your favorite moments in the franchise. I do want to remind you, click that like button if you haven't already. Should I do you guys want to see something? I know you're kind of like on watch parties, at least, you know, a lot of us are. Do you guys want me to do a watch party sometime this weekend? I don't think I could do one tonight, but let me know in the chat. Maybe we could do a super chat goal or something like that. We got Jason from Backtrack Cinema. Jason. How are you doing, Jason? Great to see you. Guys, I'm going to be on Jason's channel June 20th here in just a week, where it's the 50th anniversary of Jaws in 1 week, guys. And we are going to review and discuss Jaws and Jaws 2. So make sure you've got that notification set. If you haven't yet subscribed to Backtrack Cinema, I think you should give Jason a sub. I really like his content over there, especially if you like older movies, you like action movies, you're going to want to jump in and hang out with Jason. Let's see what else we got. I like the moment when Chris is in the lake seeing Jason through the window. Yep. Yeah, we talked about that one a little bit. How about not best moments, but cringiest moments when Pamela, for some reason, with her head attached, jumps out of the lake to replicate the scare from the original movie. I mean, I know what they're going for. Talk about mental gymnastics. That one, like, extra doesn't make sense. Right, Matt? Right, Matt? My favorite moment is the whole opening to Jason Lives. Yes, the Universal Pictures kind of opening. It was a dark, stormy night, you know, raising the dead from the grave with a metal rod and electricity with the lightning. It's, yeah, amazing stuff, man. Yep, it's Friday the 13th. Jason is in the house. What's happening, Victor E. Merced? Thank you so much for joining us. Holy cow, 34 people in here. Guys, you have to hit that like button. Let me know that I'm loved. And just for shits and gigs here, let's do this. Let's have some fun here. I'll host a Jason Lives watch party. Is that a good one to do? Jason Lives? How about I just do Friday the 13th and then you guys can vote? I'll make sure to pick ones that I haven't done already. So we're going to set that for an hour. I doubt this goal will be reached because it's 10 super chats of $2 or more. I doubt it. But since we have more than 30 people in here, 37 people in here, oh my God, you guys are... I'm going to get emotional about how awesome this is. I never get like 37 people unless I've got like Cody Leach or Lee from Drum Dums on the channel or something like that. Sean says, Davey, I never really thought is the ending of Jason Goes to Hell as a throwback to the first couple. Yeah, kind of that jump scare thing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, not much of a jump scare, but just a stinger for sure. There you go. So yeah, it sort of works for what we're talking about for sure. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember, Dean, like, yeah, if there was a true one in part 6 or not. Yeah. Oh, I know. Waiting for me all friggin' year because this is the only one. When Jason jumps up from the ground and he crushes Creighton Duke in Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, how many great Creighton Duke moments are there in Jason Goes to Hell? We haven't talked about Jason Goes to Hell yet. It gets a lot of hate, guys. I think there's so much to love in Jason Goes to Hell. Not a lot of it has to do with Jason, unfortunately. Creighton Duke is such a bizarre, memorable character. You know, whether it's talking about a little girl in a pink dress sticking a hot dog through a donut, or, you know, breaking Steven's fingers in jail, like, for information. Like, these are just bizarre, like, whoa, what am I watching here? Yeah, Creighton Duke, that'd be an interesting character to... Oh, it'd be a really cool character to have show up in the series. You know, the backstory is that his girlfriend got killed by Jason, and that's why he's hunting him. That would be really interesting, kind of like Quint from Jaws, and we'd kind of get that sort of character in the Jason world, not the Jason universe. How about the diner scene in Jason Goes to Hell? Slow motion, like gritty action, like shotgun shells falling. It was almost like Terminator 2 moments there. You know, the breaking of the arms, the gore in Jason Goes to Hell is absolutely incredible. The breaking of the arm, one of the characters gets their face elbowed in, the woman that works at the diner. Like, that's a really cool look, very reminiscent of some of the effects from like Peter Jackson's Dead Alive. And then, I mean, even though, say what you want about the whole like Necronomicon and the crossover with Evil Dead and like the slug and the demonic possession side of everything, which doesn't really make any sense, but the disintegration of Jason's like former host bodies is really amazing. And that jaw that gets like stuck to the floor, it's like, it's weird. It's like these things don't necessarily fit the Friday the 13th universe, but these are some incredible moments from a film that mostly just gets like shit talked about it. And then to balance out the scales, I will say that the soundtrack to Jason Goes to Hell is fucking terrible. I will say that. Cornfield moment in Freddy versus Jason, that's a great one. Yeah, some very despicable guys get their comeuppance, and then Jason getting lit on fire and walking through the cornfield, and then hitting the machete to the keg to like put him out, and he kills all those people at the rave. It's incredible. That's a really fun. I love especially in the fight scene, I really like the oxygen canisters, shooting the oxygen canisters at Jason. Some good shit there. Let's see here. Part in Jason Goes to Hell when oh wait, never mind. It's a slug. What's happening, Sergeant Shitty Pickle? How you doing? I've heard that. I know the lead guy, Nick. I know he is gay. I wonder why that's the chemistry just doesn't seem to really work with Nick and Tina. I heard they didn't like get along either way. Like, just, you know, I don't know if they had personal beef going on, but I've heard that for sure. Yeah. I've heard like it's been, you know, lovingly called Fry Gay the 13th, part 7. Let's see here. What else do we got? Yeah, I like the real world fight more. The dream world, I don't understand why Jason's afraid of the water, because he is a water monster. I mean, it makes sense if you're only thinking about the first movie. that he would be afraid of the water, but it's like the water is where he, like that he's the creature from the Black Lagoon Lake, you know. All in good. I knew it, Frank. No, and and I'm aware of myself enough to know that I'm quite verbose. I didn't know if I'd ever be able to get on the channel again, so I had to squeeze as much juice out of that fruit as I could. The motorcycle decapitation in part 3. Part 3 motorcycle decapitation. In part 3? Huh. I don't remember a motorcycle decapitation in part 3. Am I wrong? It would be part 5, right? Part 5. What about the Ali shuffle, the end of part 3? How is he still alive? I do like, you know, when Jason is like bludgeoning him, but the corral part of the, you know, in the barn is actually blocking the impact. I kind of like that, guys. I don't need to see every little thing. I sort of like when things are obscured and the camera's just placed and things are blocked in a creative way. I really dig that stuff. Oh my God, Ryan. Yes, what a moment. The bitch Melissa, right after one of her bitchiest moments, just boom, axe to the head and thrown like a friggin' ragdoll across the room behind the television set. Oh, you get that great pose with Jason holding the axe, which is an iconic shot. I believe they used that on the cover of the LJN Nintendo game. They messed with the colors and everything like that. But what a great shot of Jason. And yeah, what an awesome moment in the New Blood for sure. Oh, thank you so much, Shitty. I've been wearing it a lot this week because we've been talking a lot of Friday the 13th, but don't worry. I washed it. We got Robert the Wolfman. Ow, ow. Entering the chat, one of our great channel members, Death Squad mods, and a fellow teammate of mine over at the Horror Show channel. So great to see you, Robert. Yeah, Ron Sloan is about as friendly as it gets. Can't wait to hang out with him again. Part 5, when Jason, Dell, part 6. So that's Jason Lives, when Jason smashes the paintballers into the tree and it leaves a smiley face. That is so awesome. What a cute moment. Another bit of, you know, personality within the series. And guys, I'm just remembering now, there's a little bit of personality when Jason rips off the guy's arm holding the machete and he sort of looks at it like, what's this? Is this life? Like the butterfly meme. Maybe that's Jason showing a little personality too. Holy cow, guys. We got Trisha McMasters, one of our great Patreon members, channel members, and Death Squad mods. And guys, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. What time did we decide on, Trisha? I think 2 p.m. Central or 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. Trisha and I are going live. We are going to do a movie review and discussion of The Collector from 2009. That is the movie that Trisha picked for me to review as being a Patreon member, and she's going to join me, and we're gonna talk it out. I just rewatched that movie last night. That is brutal, man. Brutal. Welcome on in, Trisha. Yes, I am all ready. If I could remember what time it is. I've been so busy doing this, that, the other thing on the channel that I am just all out of sorts, Trisha. I hate to tell you. Yeah, that is going to be at, let's see here. Yeah, that'll be 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So another early show, another opportunity for our fellow community members across the pond to check us out and see what we got going. Rick getting his head squeezed in part 3 is an iconic moment. Yes, it sure is. And there you go. His name is Rick. Why couldn't I remember Rick? Now I can like hear Chris saying his name. I just think of him as like horn dog. Yeah, iconic moment. I wish it looked better, but it's pretty cool. It's still pretty cool. Let's see here. If you have time, sure, Davey. If I have time about what? What happened? What happened? What did I miss? I have no time. I got no time, to quote the Suicide Machines. Jason's my man. Backtrack Jason, that is. There you go. Oh, Lake Pleasant. Okay. That is not too far from me at all. Guys, I'm so far behind on the chat. I think I'm going to skip ahead and just make sure I'm not missing any newcomers to the chat or any super chats. Holy cow. Denise Wheat dropping a $1.99. Thank you for all you do, Davey. Thank you so much, Denise. Guys, Denise is not only a channel member, she's also a Patreon member, and she shows up to all these streams. She is so sweet, dropping super chats, making the dream work. Keeping the dream alive. Thank you so much, Denise. And Jason from Backtrack Cinema drops a $4 Canadian super chat. Heyo! Or should I say $4 Canadian A super chat. Holy cow. Robert the Wolfman with a $2. Show me your titties. There you go. You got it. Trisha McMasters drops a $1.99. Y'all see this Southern girl tomorrow on DD. That's Davey Deathray. Although, maybe my boobs aren't that big. I don't think so anyways. Going for a walk in the woods. Look out for Jason. Look out for Jason, Jamie. Have a great rest of your night. And maybe I'll see you in some of the streams later on today. Maybe. Okay, let me just make sure I'm not missing any new people jumping on in. Dean Renner with a $1.99. Let's watch party it up. Holy cow. There we go. It's happening. It might happen. It might happen. I'm going to rewatch that later when I'm alone. You and maybe Jordan Decker is going to be like, what did I miss? Guys, I've seen a bump in the viewership here, so maybe me showing my nippies is getting everyone crazy. Let's see here. Guys, we're halfway there to the watch party. I'm still take your money on the super chats. But we're halfway there to the watch party, so you have to pressure other people to give $2 or more, and we'll watch. I don't know, maybe something like Jason Lives, because I did a watch party on the channel for Jason Lives. That was actually the night that we hit 1,000 subs. Unfortunately, my ex was with me on that stream, and I've made all the videos I did with my ex. I made them private because I don't want to lose the watch hours or anything positive for the channel that came from them. So yeah, so basically there is no watch party for Friday the 13th Part 6. There are no Jaws watch parties anymore, so I'm going to redo those, but redo them solo this summer. But yeah, we could do something fun. Like Jason Lives is my favorite in the franchise, so if you guys are cool with that, we could do that. I could list the ones that we haven't done watch parties of yet, and we could tackle those. JG, it would probably be on Sunday evening, I would imagine. Or we can do it on Tuesday. So let's worry about that. If we reach the goal, we reach the goal, and then we can figure out when it's going to be. I have to work tomorrow night, and then I have to work on Sunday during the day, and then I'm doing some Father's Day stuff with my family. So if I did it on Sunday, it probably wouldn't be until 10 p.m. Eastern. So it'd probably be a better idea to try to do something like that on on Tuesday. Holy cow, 39 likes. You guys are absolutely amazing. Can we get to 40? That would be crazy. That would be totally crazy if we could get to 40. We're almost there. Look at that. Denise dropping another $1.99 for that show. I must add another. There we go. So guys, we're 60% of the way there. We're more than halfway there on the super chat goal to have a watch party. A Friday the 13th themed watch party. How much fun would that be? We have 45 minutes. I doubt I'll be on the stream that much longer, but gosh, there's 30 people in here, so who the heck knows? Do we have any more moments you guys want to talk about? Best moments in the Friday the 13th franchise. I feel like you guys have brought up so many of the moments that that I think of as well. How about Tommy and Megan running away from the police in Part 6? I love that. Megan forcing Tommy to put his head in her lap, and the multiple crotch shots you get. You get a little bit of that camel toe in there. And then she's like, this turn's going to be a little hairy. Just all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Something so fun and charming about Megan and Tommy. Love those guys so much. Holy cow. Hell yeah. Thank you for the update, Corey. Really appreciate you. That's one of our great channel members, Wilkie's Movies and Music. And guys, Corey's been going live lately over on his channel and upgrading his equipment and all that kind of fun stuff. He does these really cool, like Friday afternoon, like, you know, like lunchtime lives that are really, really cool. So go ahead and check out Wilkie's Movies and Music and see if that's something you want to subscribe to. For every $1, Davey takes off one piece of clothing. Oh, shit. Guys, I'm only wearing this shirt, shorts, underwear, and 2 socks. So that's not very many dollars. Not many at all. Corey drops $2 and says, I'll pitch one in. Watch parties are always fun. Holy cow, guys. We are just 3 super chats away from reaching that goal. Thank you so much, Jean, for hitting that like button. Really appreciate you. Guys, Jean is always, you know, even after she hangs out in the live chat, she drops a comment. Chester's the same way, drops a comment on the stream afterwards. It means so much to not only partake in the live stuff, but to drop those comments really helps the stream. So thank you, Gene. And that is just so awesome. So we're at 7 out of 10, guys. Really just $6 more will get us in the spot where we're going to do a watch party. How cool is that? How cool is that? Sing some Weezer over here. I'm just going to wet my whistle. And then I guess, guys, since we've kind of talked about our favorite moments and all that stuff, which Friday the 13th are you going to be watching tonight? Or which ones have you been watching today? Are you going to watch Never Hike Alone today? Are you looking forward to, I know Dave McCrae's doing a stream, I think at 5:30, where he's talking about his favorite moments in the franchise. And, you know, Vincent DeSantis going live later on today. Bill Frickenstein from the Ever Scathed is going live. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm curious to know what you guys are going to do with your Friday the 13th. I'm going to watch The New Blood because I'll be on Facci Cinema next week talking the good, the bad, and the judgment on Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. The holodeck scene in Jason X. Also, did you know there's a comic book for back in the day that is Jason X versus Jason? I've never heard of that comic. That sounds like fun. I love that to be able to do like otherworld stuff in comics is really cool. The holodeck scene is pretty fun, pretty funny too. We're almost there with video game technology. What's happening, Zub-Zero? Welcome on back. Feel like it's been a little bit. Always a pleasure to see you. Hope you're doing well and happy Friday the 13th, man. There you go. Nicholas Priori is watching the all-day marathon of Friday the 13th on Pluto. Yeah, maybe I should just put that on while I take care of some stuff. There you go. Corey says, I'm watching The New Blood. That's actually my favorite. You know, I've seen some folks out there, yeah, where that's their favorite one. How cool would it be, Corey, if you could watch, you know, I'm sure you enjoy the cut as it is, you know, just fine since it's your favorite. But how cool would it be to see if they were able to restore, even if they took that VHS footage and restored it with like AI? Those are the things they should use like AI for, is to like fix what man has fucked up. How cool would it be to see, you know, a version as John Carl Buechler had intended of that film? I think that would be amazing. I mean, that footage exists in VHS form. They could upgrade it, upscale it, run it through some AI thing. Maybe it'll take a couple years to get that. But yeah, that would be really cool. Trisha's going to be watching the remake. I really like the remake as well, Trisha. Yeah. Thanks to that marathon playing, I've started at 4 and I'm halfway through 8. There you go. I don't know if anyone else follows Movie Timelines on YouTube, but he has a good video ranking fan-made Friday films. I follow Movie Timelines. I really enjoy his stuff. Yeah. He did a really cool Nightmare on Elm Street fan video as well. I don't think it was ranking. It was just, I think he was just talking about him. But that was awesome because I got to share it with my buddy Cecil from the Horror Show channel, who did Dylan's New Nightmare, and he didn't even know that it was out there. So it was really cool to be like, hey man, you got some love out there, you know? Let's see what else we got. I'll go old school and watch the original, says Todd. Hell yeah. Dell says, I'm watching whatever is the earliest in the franchise my daughter hasn't seen yet, 3 or 4. Hell yeah. How old's your daughter, Dell? Man, 3 and 4 are both great. I mean, the final chapter is like arguably the best one in the franchise. New Blood is on my list. Not sure I'll get to it today. I got to put my Dalton denim vest in a few hours. Put on my Dalton denim vest. Dalton, why does that sound familiar? I know it's completely shut me down. Dalton denim vest. Oh, it's just a nice Venom. Does that mean you have to go to work? I'm lost, Matt. I feel like a total dummy. Nothing quite feeling like a total dummy on your own stream. Corey says that would be awesome to see a director's cut of that. Let's tell Arrow Video to get on that. Yeah, well, they did, is it Arrow or who is it that put together that Dirty Work R-rated cut? And I don't think it was VHS quality stuff, but they definitely had to upscale and put in a lot of work getting the R-rated footage to match with the original film. Really enjoy the portrayal of Jason in the remake. Yes, I love Trapdoor Spider, Jason. 22. All right. Yeah. Come on. She needs to catch up on these, Dell. Yeah. Come on. Come on, daughter of Dell. Daughter of Dell. Davey Deathray implores you to watch all of the Friday the 13th you haven't seen today, because today is his birthday. So you got to do it. Oh, modding a stream. That's what that means. Okay. Got to get that wrench out, that vest. Speaking of the remake, how do we fail to mention your tits are? Sean Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards? Was he the first one to say it, or did somebody else say it first? It was right at the beginning of when we started talking about our favorite moments, for sure. Yeah, it was one of the first ones, and then the chat could not stop talking about the stupendous boobs for ages, it seems. All right, guys, we are 3 super chats away. 39 minutes to get that watch party going, but I'm going to say this. I'm only going to go for 15 more minutes. Once it hits 4 o'clock, I need a little break because that'll be 3 hours for me, pretty much. And I need a little bit of a break before all the crazy Friday the 13th celebration starts happening. So you got perfect nipple placement, baby. There you go. Trisha asks, what's the drink minimum for tomorrow? I'll be nervous. Well, not too much, because you want to be able to have your thoughts with you. So, and that's different for everyone, Trisha. Maybe just one, and then bring one to the stream. How does that sound? Something like that? Does that work for you? And no need to be nervous. I mean, you know this movie really well, right? I've only seen it twice. So, and I'm gonna host the stream, so it'll be like, all right, Trisha, tell me about your overall thoughts about the film, and then we'll jump into the direction, we'll jump into the acting, the sound design, the music, we'll do things like category by category. So you don't have to feel like you gotta blurt it all out at once. I'll be gentle, let's just say that. Dell, I failed as a parent. She saw so many other horror flicks before the Friday the 13th movie. She doesn't appreciate them quite as much as she should. And I think sometimes that's just when you see the movies. I think the perfect age to start watching these movies is probably 9 or 10. That's when I saw them, but I saw them on TV. We may be kind of around the same age. So I was exposed to them in a way that was kind of sanitized, a little not as harsh, And by the way, Trisha, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Guys, we're just, let's see here, 2 super chats away, $2 or more from having that watch party. So it's possible. JG Michael drops a $2. What's your favorite Friday the 13th clone other than The Burning? Ooh. Friday the 13th clone. The original My Bloody Valentine's really good. It's just a year after the original Friday the 13th. I love The Prowler quite a bit too. Man. That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm going to say, even though it deals with time travel a little bit and that kind of stuff, I'm going to say, or alternate universe kind of thing, I really like that movie, The Final Girls. I thought that was a really cool, it's relatively new, and it's a really good kind of Friday the 13th clone, for sure. Really enjoyed that one. I haven't seen them all though, JG, but thank you so much for the 2. Really appreciate you. That just puts us 1 away, guys. But oh my goodness, Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music has dropped the final $2 super chat. Watch party it is. There you go. Holy cow. We just got 10 super chats of $2 or more, and we're going to be doing a watch party. So I'm going to ask you guys in the chat right now. I'll do a poll for which movie we're going to watch, but I'm going to ask you right now in the chat, what day do you want it to be? Do you want to do Sunday night? Do you want to do Tuesday, early evening on Tuesday? What you got? Let me know. And I guess I have to make sure I'm not going to be on Facci Cinema on Tuesday. I don't know if he has posted our stream yet. So let me check over there, and maybe it's going to have to be on Sunday. Maybe. But I'm going to hang with the fam on Sunday for New Blood is 17th, so it will be on Tuesday. So guys, we'll do a watch party on, hey, we can make it a late night with a Davey watch party. How about that? I don't have a guest for this upcoming late night with a Davey, so we could do that and keep the celebration going, or we could do it on Sunday night. So let me know in the chat, Sunday or Wednesday for the watch party. Let me know. The Burning Rocks. Booyah. We got 10 watch party. Woohoo! Yippee! 16 is a good age to start going through slasher flicks. I agree. Yeah, because then you can handle the boobage, all the nudity and stuff, you know. Pat usually does a stream on Sunday, so I'm voting Tuesday. Sunday is what M says. Sunday it is. Late night with a Davey, not a bad idea. Either one for me. Final Girls is awesome. Chester wants Sunday. Tyler, what's happening, Tyler? Been creeping for about 20 minutes. The least interesting part of the stream, but fun nonetheless. Yeah, guys, let's figure out when to. So it would be Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern, which is pretty damn late for Sunday. People got to go to work. Might have to be late night with the Davey. Might have to be because I am cat sitting on Monday. Or if we did Monday during the day. But I want to do something where you guys can tune in. So let's plan for late night with the Davey. I'll put a poll out there. I've already watched, I think, part 2, part 4, and the remake on the channel so far. So it's going to be one of the movies that's not. Oh, and Jason Takes Manhattan. I've watched 4 of them on the channel. So I'll list out 4 for you guys to vote on. Okay. So keep an eye out for that poll to be dropping on the channel after this stream. I think that is going to wrap it up for me since we reached the super chat goal. I'm going to give myself a break. Get in a little workout. Maybe pick up some things at the grocery store and then get back here and chill out in time for all the amazing streams that we're going to be having going on tonight. You guys are amazing. Holy cow, we're at about 2 hours, 45 minutes here on this stream. I think we peaked at about 37 folks in the, on the stream watching, which is crazy. As far as likes go, you guys were incredible on that because we reached 43 likes. And not only that, guys, the super chat goal, 10 super chats of $2 or more. You guys are incredible. We will be doing a watch party. Again, keep an eye out for that poll to help pick the movie. And yes, thank you so much, Eli, for the reminder, and welcome on back, Eli. Says, don't forget to slash that like button and sub to this amazing channel and consider becoming a member of the Mighty Death Squad. That's right, guys. Just 99 cents a month can make you a member. Gosh, I got to do something with the members sometime soon. Yeah, members, I owe you one. It's not going to be tonight because there's too much going on, and I would want a lot of people to show up. Maybe tomorrow morning before the collector stream. So keep an eye out for that if you are a channel member. Really appreciate you, Chester. Thank you so much. And then there's the link for Corey's channel, Wilkie's Movies and Music. Feel free to, I encourage you to check it out and see if it's for you. That's all I can do. And, show them some love, subscribe. You can always, the subscribe is free, guys. Let's support each other. Come on, let's support each other. And we'll see. Maybe there will actually be some meaningful Friday the 13th news dropping today. I highly doubt it. I just reloaded Bloody Disgusting. I don't see anything. I'm on the Friday the 13th franchise.com page. I just refreshed it. I don't see anything new. But Vin from Womp Stomp Films has already dropped a couple trailers a figurine announcement. He's doing a live stream later, and he says he has more stuff to share. So that's just how it's going to go. We're going to get more from Vin than we get from the actual folks who own the rights. It's friggin' crazy. It's friggin' crazy. Hey, Davey, you gave us all a free booby show, so you did your service. Thank you so much. There you go, Denise. Yeah, spread the love. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much to all the Patreon members, the YouTube channel members, our amazing group of Death Squad mods. You guys are incredible. Really appreciate all the super chats. It's so awesome. We got so many of them today, and really appreciate you guys. I'm just going to show off the super chats while I say my appreciations here. Really appreciate you guys jumping in and sharing your favorite moments in the Friday the 13th franchise. If it were just me talking about my favorite moments, it would have been very self-indulgent and probably pretty boring as well. So I always love and appreciate you guys for stepping in and, carrying some of the weight here on the Davey Death Ray channel. I couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much. And if you're watching this after the fact and you made it this far, holy cow, congratulations. Leave a comment, share this channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. And guys, I will be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, with our gal, Trisha McMasters, to review and discuss 2009's The Collector, directed by Marcus Dunstan. So look forward to that. And keep an eye out for that poll to vote for the Friday the 13th movie that you want to watch for that watch party. And you guys know how this goes. Until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Death Ray. Take care.